for duty.
I love this show. I love this show.
Wow. What an emotional start to the Monday stream that was. My word. We were multitasking like a glorious female, not like a normal chaotic male. So many people doing so many wonderful things to help us out here on Monday morning, so thank you so much. Monday evening, sorry. Drene Latius with the host 2 seconds ago. IDBC and Bookza and all the numbers, oh my god. I156984. Thank you all for the follows. All Pride, Malleus, Sanjen, Moses, and Blip, all coming in with my host as well. Thank you guys. Oh, right, well, after all that chaos, Malleus, I have a deep, sincere apology to make. It seems that Twitch has an issue with me and you being friends. It seems that for whatever reason, Twitch doesn't want us to be friends. It decided on its own to make me block you. Now, AUO, thank you for the follow. Now, before we start, we should figure out why it's so freaking dark. That's what we should actually do. There we go. Hello. Good lord. Hi again. We're back. We should figure out why Twitch doesn't like us being friends. It knows that together combined we are a far stronger, superior power in Twitch creative. It just doesn't like it. So for whatever reason it decided, no, you're going to block that guy. So I unblocked him and it worked on Friday. Then today I come back and today I haven't touched it. It says, no. That guy's blocked. Because he's blocked, he's not allowed to host you. So I apologise. It seems Sanjin was right. For whatever reason, I had you blocked. I was watching you all day. I don't know why. It's so mean, but it was mean. Raina's here for the emotional report. Thank you, Raina, as well. Sniper, how are you doing? I see you. Pixie losing as well. All the friends, all the streamers. Honestly, I'm going to have to... Yeah, it was Twitch. Definitely was Twitch, Shayton. I'm going to have to email them. Because like I said, I've done it before, and I've seen it before. K-Pike has complained about it in the partner section, whatever you want, a partner server, so I know it's a thing. So anyway, we are here. We are here. We're going to do a thing. We're going to turn off the intro music. We are going to turn on some lovely Cell Dweller fixed generic metal background, because it is Metal Monday still. Don't forget this fact. It is Metal Monday. So we'll throw that in the background and we'll get doing some things. Oh, honestly, tech support. I mean, luckily, I have to admit, I do have partner tech support, which is slightly better, apparently. We'll see. But yeah, you know, RSS and the other crew have been really good to me in the past, so hopefully that shall continue. But it does mean that chaos ensued, which means I was doing all the things. So again, if you hosted in the countdown, thank you so much. I appreciate all the support as always. Again, all you guys following straight away off of the hosts, thank you so much. Welcome to the stream. We are doing continuing the kind of learning how to airbrush. Now, I'm not teaching you. I bring in some lovely other talent from Twitch Creative. I introduce you to other streamers, or I bring in streamers you already know. Last time we were here for 101, we did very much the basics, but you know, you can't hit the ground running as such. You've got to learn before to walk, you know, before you can run, or crawl before you can walk. So we were doing the very basics of fundamental airbrush setup, preparation, trying to create a smooth coat with our primer. Right now we are priming all the things. There are many we achieved last time, for example, and we'll continue doing our 8th edition Death Guard. These are all dry fitted, so don't worry too much about that stuff. But yeah, you can see we're trying to achieve a nice, fairly even, smooth priming in black, but we're going to go through in Zenithal for you. We're going to do some pre-shading. We're going to do some white. So we're going to do our poxwalkers are going to be based purely in white, because we're going to use washes and go through the kind of ABCs of trying to achieve a tabletop quality with these guys. I'm very much known for being one of the slowest, if not the slowest, on Twitch. So the intention is to try and do these Death Guard, because I do have 2 sets of sprues of these guys, to just a tabletop. So we're going to airbrush in white. We're going to use wash to do the poxwalks. We're going to airbrush all the Plague Marines black and Zenithal them, and the same with our Lord of Contagion. And a few of the other prep. We've got the non-Warhammer stuff. We've got some Infamy for Nikola Tesla. We've got some Trevarian sculpts in the case of Robot, the Broken. And we've got some Forge World and a few other bits and bobs. And even some commission work in the form of some Infinity. So we've got all the things to do. We're going to go through and we're going to do a few more black. I got to finish off doing some Plague Marines, so I'll whip through them whilst we're talking, and then I'm going to switch over, change colour into the white, and we're going to do some pure white basing on the pox. We're going to do some Zenithal on the prime. I'm going to try, maybe if we get to it, doing some pre-shading, which is slightly different from what I've been learning, so we'll get there. So, hey, Coco's in, Sassy Pants, how you doing? Back at you. Thank you for the support. I appreciate that once again. Right, what else has happened? So I've got a few other things to show you and to talk about. So the weekend occurred. It was a bit chaotic for me. More actual work. I had a massive release for my main job, which went live successfully. We've been dealing with a bit of fallout today, as per expected, but so far so good. I went down to Bournemouth. I introduced Mini Flick to my friends and family. My godson met my daughter. That was all fun. I had a barbecue and all that kind of jazz. And I managed to get a little bit more preparation done. So actually, believe it or not, all of my Plague Marines are dry fitted. Now I am sub-assembling them, because whilst I'm still doing tabletop, I am still a painting nerd and I still want to do sub-assemblies. So I got these guys done during the course of this morning. Yes, indeed, this morning. I have found that I'm lacking time for hobby, so I'm making more time. So what I've done, and I'm doing all this week, is I'm getting up at 6 AM, a few more extra hours in the morning, making them to good use. So this morning I did some hobby, and in the form of fitting these guys up ready for this stream. Tomorrow morning I'm going to be streaming again. My Tuesday morning slot and my Thursday morning slot, I will be streaming live. The aim is for 6:30 AM my time, more likely to be 7. So I'm scheduling it officially as 7 till 9. So it's only a short 2-hour stream, but that's what I'm going to do. So 7 AM GMT till 9 AM GMT, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Those morning streams we were doing before the birth of Miniflick are returning. I'm going to try and go a little bit earlier, so it might be at 6:30, but, you know, bed's really comfy, so it might end up being 7. So I'm officially scheduling it as 7 till 9, 2-hour short stream. So there we go. So we're going to be doing a morning stream. But I'm up all this week, and then after we get into a nice routine of being up at 6 a.m, I'm actually going to hit the gym again, guys. I've got to get rid of dad bod. Dad bod has got to go. I've got my honeymoon coming up in 6 weeks. So for those who don't know, our honeymoon was delayed from our official wedding. Our wedding was October 22nd last year. My wife, Lexi, was pregnant with Miniflick, and we were traveling to the Maldives. But we couldn't go because of the Zika virus. So those of you may know, some may not. The Zika virus is something that's very dangerous for pregnant women because it can affect children inside the womb. So for all that fact, we didn't actually go. We delayed it as best we could after a bit of a fight, which I won't go into too much unless people actually want to know. I had to basically squabble, but we got it delayed. So now we are going start of September. So very, very last end of August into early September. I am GMT indeed, Max Payne. I am in England. I am 5 minutes from Gatwick. I am southern. I'm in Surrey. So yeah, 6:30 till 9 a.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays morning. Otherwise, Mondays and Wednesdays as continued as normal, 5 p.m. till 8 p.m. However, this Wednesday, I'm not going to be here. I'm going to a barbecue with the NCT people. It's officially the last day official NCT thing where we meet the lady that was guiding us pre-birth, as well as all the couples that were with us in the classes. So there's the last thing. It's kind of like a meet all of the children sort of send-off thing I can't really get out of. So that's on Wednesday, which means there'll be no stream Wednesday. So this week's schedule is tonight. We'll be streaming now until 8 p.m.ish. Tomorrow morning, Thursday morning. Those are the three you're getting me from here this week. So hopefully that is enough. We'll see. A blessing and a curse. Actually, Moses is not too bad. I actually really like it. The quick destinations. A few friends use our driveway when they go away on holiday to store the cars to save on the old Gatwick parking costs. But it meant that obviously I could pick up Grendler and Gatemace when they came over. We've got other people as well. We're planning. I don't want to give away too much information. They might be coming over on the old jet plane to London. So that's a thing as well. And we don't hear the planes at all. We're not actually on the flight path. We're just round the corner. It's very hard to explain, but for whatever reason, we just don't hear the planes, which is really cool. Right. Anyway, so what else happened? All that happened. Ah, yes. Product arrived. First of the many cool things that I've been working on arrived. Actually, I'll tell you what, I'll show you. Why not? I was going to put it on Instagram, and then, like I said, we've got a really manic day with working today, so I didn't get a chance. Oops, sorry. So I couldn't do anything, non-work related in any shape or form. It just wasn't a thing. But I'll show you. Look. Let's bring these here. So, as you may know, Blipsqueak the Clown, who is here, has done a thing. He's been doing a thing, doing many things. You saw the intro. You saw the scene transition as well. These are all his works, things that I have crossed his palm with silver to do. One of his other things he's done is some print work for us. So now the first one I'm going to show you is not his work, but it exists. This is his work. So yeah, these funky, cool little sticker cool things
I love this show.
are a badass addition. I don't know if they're really showing properly the detail, but you have to understand the level of detail in these are awesome. So there you go. We've now got official Feely stickers. Everything I give away, everything you commission me for, everything you win will contain at least one of each of these two. So you'll see I've been messing about, seeing how the quality of scratching, how much effort I had to do to ruin them. You'll see I've scratched this one up. This is intentional. I was trying to see. But if I bring in, yeah, come on, let me do a zoomy thing. There we go. You can see the quality here, guys. So yeah, we've got some stickers, some vinyls, some stickers, man. The old classic logo and Fuely. So there are 2 trackers now. No, I don't know what's going on. I'm concerned and worried about this. So I don't know what's happened. Maybe it's after our Phantom bot thing, but I'm going to check this very quickly. I noticed this when people were hosting, we were getting 2 come up, and that definitely shouldn't be the case. So I do need to check that just in case I went and did a balky balk and messed something up as part of the Phantom bot thingy. I want to go check that before we go too much further. We should definitely only have 1, and I don't know why it's done it. So do give me 2 seconds. And Thule 2S to B, thank you so much for the follow. Apologise for the delay there. I was just in mid flow of all the hype of the sticks. So I don't know why we've got 2 going on. I need to check out and figure out why we're having 2 repeated. It shouldn't be doing that for sure. But hello, General, how you doing? I make vinyl stickers if you're interested. Oh, do you, Sniper? I didn't know that. Oh, I just picked a random people. Cool, General. Check it later on. Not a problem. I don't know why it's doing the multiple. That's so bizarre. How do we get the stickers? So, newbie, let's say the stickers come with everything and all the things. Anything I send out from Flixster HQ, you will receive them. So if you win a giveaway, I'll throw a couple in. If you commission, and therefore when you receive your menu, you'll get a couple. If you bought a Flixster miniature, there will be some. That's the reason they're here in the first place, is they'll be going out in the box with them as well. So if anyone who's purchased a Flixster miniature, whether it's one of the 50 or one of the ones after the first 50, you will be getting some as well. That's all cool. So again, paid for the commission of the actual artwork, then paid for the actual stickers. All that things happen. So, could you transfer the real Bug King stickers to the? I haven't had a chance yet. Hey, Tavarian, how you doing, buddy? $100 a sticker, yeah, indeed.
I love this show.
It's all well and good. Ah, Seagoblins, thank you so much for the follow as well, guys. Appreciate that tonight. Very, very kind of you. We'll get deep into the airbrushing in a moment and the old priming, but I'm just trying to figure out why the bot is having a moment. It's all well and good me swapping over the Bug Kings, changing, but for some reason we've got double tracking of everything. I don't know why it's coming up twice. It's the same bot. There's only one bot running. It's so bizarre. Hey Fen, how you doing, man? Another streamer. A bunch of streamers in here. Trevelyan just turned up. Fen's just turned up. We've also had hosts from Latius and Blipsqueak. Sanjin's in chat. I've seen AV6 Scott and Nikki Coles are in. There's a load of guys hanging out. So thank you so much for the support. Really appreciate it. You guys are streamers. Feel free to do a /ME space wave. Let others know so maybe you can get some of the old follows as well. But yeah, I don't know why we've got a bot problem. I'm kind of scared. I'm kind of worried to why we're doing it twice. And maybe I mashed the thing up, but I don't know why. Yes, I do, Sniper. I'll talk to you after, dude. Oh, Pixie's here as well. Sorry, Pixie. Yes, I apologise, Pixie Lou as well. I won't remember everyone. There's so many people, but I have only got one instance of the bot going, and the bot is only in the chat once. So I'm not quite sure why the bot is triggering twice. I'm not running anything locally. I've not reauthored. Oh, I tell you what I did do. Is it your bots from the text room? No, that's the thing. Well, the other bot's not here. So the other bot was called Fuel the Hobby, and it's not in the channel. But what I did do at one point, and I wonder if it's that, is I authed to the wrong bot? Or did I? I'd have to look into it. Okay, it doesn't matter, irrelevant. I know the bot that's the main one, and I wouldn't worry about it. It'll duplicate up tonight, but we're not going to mess about with it all night. We're just going to crack on. We'll do it after. Production value is what it is. The only thing it could be, potentially, is I've got another bot, but that bot isn't even running locally, so I have no idea why it's dual spamming. It's so bizarre. Hey, Captain Atwick, how you doing? Is it your bot's bot from the text room? Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I don't think so. That bot's not running. It's literally not running, and it's all running local, so got to be an OAuth issue. I'll tell you what I will do before we actually get into the meat of it. I will go and have a look at modifying some user points. Yeah, fucking bots indeed. Oh, you changed it. Oh, I liked your other one. Trov bot beep. The Trov bot beep. Indeed. Oh, were you, Sniper? Awesome. Yeah, I was going to say that. We're nearly at 300. It feels exciting. Awesome. Thank you, Sniper bot. Very kind. Right, let's go and sort out Silly Pants and the fake real Bug King and the Bug King. So we've got the real Bug King had 915, and now he's called the Bug King. Oh, I see. Better Twitch TV. Yeah, I should have known that. It's so big time. His bot has its own bot. Yeah, indeed. That was for the tech stream, trying to teach everyone else and helping them out. Right, so the Bug King, you have 100. The real Bug King, let's just do that.
Show.
Oh, Marv as well. Thank you so much for the follow, guys. Really appreciate that. So we do a check again. You've got 915, so 915 plus 100. Maths are hard. 1015. Lovely. You've also got 1,000. Oh, that's another one, isn't it? Though I've already done that. That's cool. So let's add. No, let's just set it to that. So check yours now, would you? The Bug King, the fake one, the not real one, the artist oh my god, I can't even say. Formerly known as the real Bug King. See, it's doubling and they're different. How is that even a thing? Let's have a look for Sanjin. Right, the second one, Sanjin, 2090, is the real one that I've got in the database. What is going on with this? I'm trying to work out the maths here. So where's it getting the other one from? Everyone's got 2. Right, Elarovic. I know you must have loads. Let's do that one. Oh my god, can everyone stop destroying my bot? Do we get double banana then? No. What the hell is going on? That's so weird. You're derailing the stream, but I'm curious now. So Neveralls has got bumped it. Let's check Neveralls'. So let Never. In the database that I'm looking for, the local one, the remote one, Never, you've got 2125. So the spam you just did. Where are you? 2125. It's the second one. It's always the second one that's right. Let's check out newbies. Is that still the case? Let's have a look at newbies. Newbie Wargamer has 3815. So no, for him it was the first one. What the juice is going on? Are there 2 bots running? No, like I said, my bot is running. Once again, my bot is remote. Where is our man? Right, I'll tell you what I can do. Give me 1 second, guys, and we will crack on with paint. I apologise. This is a new one on me. Don't be banana in, for God's sake, not right now. Okay, let's go to here. Let's go to...
I love this show.
Balin, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Welcome to the stream, man. I apologise for the lack of current painting. We're trying to figure out what the bot's exploding. Did that triple? No, it didn't triple. It's done it twice, but there's additional on the second one. So notice the first one ends in request song ticket. Are we airbrushing Death Guard? We are going to airbrush Death Guard. Yes, we are priming the Plague Marines black, the Poxwalkers white. We're doing some testing here. And then we've got a whole bunch of other stuff. We've got Trevarian, who's in the chat. He's a sculptor on Twitch. We've got his Broken. We've got the infamy Nikola Tesla. We've got some Forge World stuff in the form of Tylus Rubio. We're doing a bunch of Zenithal on them, so a bit different. So we're doing some plain black, some plain white, and then some Zenithal lighting as well. My bot was doing the same. It stopped after that last stream. Very strange. Are you priming with airbrush? Yes, I am indeed. So let's go through. Let's talk some hobby, shall we? Why not, guys? Let's get to it. So I have.
Everybody wants to
Did you extend the warranty on your bot? Indeed. I don't know. Like I said, I'm logging into my usual one, and I can see the points accruing, so let's ignore it. Can you put the airbrushing primer? I'm curious what paint you needed. Okay, cool. So let's go through that. All right, so in the first episode of the Airbrush 101 we introduced the fundamental basics of airbrushing, the components in use, cleaning, prepping, all that kind of jazz. The primer I'm currently using myself, which I need to shake because I haven't touched it yet, which is part of it, is called the Zenithal. It is from Badger, who are... I think it's Badger, the actual company, I can't remember. Yeah, from Badger Airbrush Co. There you go. So again, sorry guys, let me just drop down so you can see what's going on here. That's the Airbrush Co. It's called Zenithal. So this is their water-based acrylic polyurethane. It's an easy surface primer. It does not need any kind of thinning. And that's what makes this really, really fun. You can literally go, it's just as is, straight into the airbrush cup, and off you go. So, we use this to produce, let's get in examples. Let's go through. So I've got a couple examples here, more intricate versions, as well as some like smoother surfaces. So again, this is black on black, so it's kind of hard to show you guys, but let me just get the focus as well. It's very hard to focus black on black if I've got a black background, unfortunately. My colour balance is kind of all over the place at the moment. But yeah, so we've got this dude here, which is Trevelyan Sculpt. We've also got like the Lord of Contagion here from the 8th edition box set. Again, I appreciate this is black on black, so it's kind of hard to show you guys. Oh, Moses, thank you for the bits, the first bits of the night. Very kind of you guys. Thank you for the cheer. So you can see how smooth this applies. It really is very, very smooth. I went through, obviously, thin coats, nice slow movement. We went through it again. We'll do some more basic black in a minute. But I was very, very impressed, not only with the way it applied, but the way it went through the airbrush. I haven't, like I say, I am learning. You are learning with me, not from me. I will obviously try and teach what I was learning from the last episode. Obviously, all of my episodes are available in the VODs of the channel, or you can go over to the YouTube. But yeah, just very, very impressed. Generally, very smooth application. Seemed to go very well. No texture whatsoever that I can see that I was concerned about. And it didn't fill any of the recesses. Again, I've got that part of that's down to technique, part of that's down to the primer itself. But for example, this has got very, very shallow recess detail on the surface plates. It looks quite deep. I promise you, it's not. And it's kept that detail. It's still got the black. Clearly, the black is in the recesses, but it's not filled to detail, which is fantastic. Artillerico, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Obviously, this is more something you're probably used to seeing by now on a million people's streams. This is one of our Plague Marines from the 8th edition set, and again, you can see how smooth it is on the cloak. So very, very nice stuff. I'm really impressed with it. I would definitely recommend it, but bear in mind, I am a beginner airbrusher, so I haven't tried anything else. This was what was recommended to me by Rainer72 and a bunch of others on the Paint Bottle Throwers Discord. !Discord. The bot will now currently tell you twice because it's being retarded. But this is the stuff that I was recommended, and I've got the black, the grey, and the white. So I've got all three of them of this Badger primer, and so far I love it. So that's what I'm going to be using. So I'm going to use that again to begin with. I did, as I said, one of our Plague Marines already. I've got the other 6 left to do. Some have been glued. They've been super glued to their bases rather than plastic glued, because I'm going to twist them off when we get some much, much better bases. But for now, they were just easier. This is supposed to be my attempt at doing tabletop. Normally, I'll do display quality, or my attempt at. Obviously, it's nowhere near display, but it's my attempt at. I always paint to the best of my ability. So these guys, I'm intentionally trying to just do tabletop base. Get them out there, get them done, get them onto a table, and that is one of the hardest things for me. Anyone who knows this stream, who's been following this stream since I've started to stream, will know I'm the slowest painter. One of the slowest painters. And that's because I enjoy the process of painting more than playing. So I go through the idea of doing the glazing. Like, I know Trevelyan hates that word, but thin layering is a style of painting that's cathartic and slow and enjoyable. It's the way I do it. But these are supposed to be a kind of, let's just see how fast we can do it. And obviously I'm starting that off by learning to airbrush, so that in the future I'll be able to do just whiz through priming, whiz through pre-shading, and then do some thin layers to take cut some corners and get them done. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're going to be doing these guys today. I did one of the Poxwalkers in black in the last session last stream. However, I've changed my mind after watching the Warhammer video of how they do them quickly. I'm going to do the same thing. So actually, this chap's probably going to be the only one that's done black. All the others are going to go straight into white. I don't know what I'm going to do with this guy, whether I'm going to go white over him or whether I'm just going to Zenithal light him, i.e. just do a dusting of white from the top and just potentially have him slightly different. He's one of 40 I have, because I've got the 2 sprues that come in the 8th edition, and I've bought 2 copies of the Death Guard sprues, so I've got 40 of the buggers. So I don't mind if one of them looks slightly different. That's probably a good thing. So there you go. One of the giveaway stuff for the stickers, I have some paint totes that need some flick swag. Well, the stickers, as I say, at the moment, my intention to use them, I've got 200 of each currently. I can obviously reorder if needs be, or I'll find a cheaper source, because they did cost me a pretty penny to get sorted. But yeah, they're going to go away with every time I get commissioned. So when you get sent your commission, you'll get a set of stickers. Anyone who purchased a Flickster miniature will get a set of stickers. And anyone who wins a giveaway. So our monthly giveaways we do on this stream, or special events, that kind of stuff. Basically, anytime I ship anything out the door here, you're going to get a copy of at least one of each of those stickers. So yeah, again, this is the work of Blipsqueak the Clown, the commission artist, who's also a streamer here on Twitch. And this is my just general logo that I made on Photoshop one day. Right, anyway, so do you need to water the primer down? Now, as I said, on the tin, on the bottle of these, it does say no thinning necessary. I don't water them down, I don't thin them down, I don't use flow improver or any kind of thinners for whatever reason, other than thinking maybe to do with humidity. So something we learned from Rainer72 on our last stream, who was the teacher who come on board into Discord and gave us some pointers. He was saying how thinning and flow improving depends on humidity or temperature. You know, one is for making the paint dry quicker, one is for making the paint dry slower. So a thinner would thin your paint, but also means that the paint itself dries quicker. A flow improver is the reverse. So if you want the paint to last a bit longer before it dries, flow improver, flow simple, that kind of jazz. That's the way I understand it anyway. So the short answer to that is no, I don't water them down. Should you? Can you? Maybe? I don't. It says no thinning, so I went straight in raw. That's what we did. On the note, in fact, of teachers, I've got another one standing by today to help me out, or at least chat with me, answer some questions, answer your questions as I'm going through some of the stuff, so when I'm doing the boring stuff. So last time we had Rainer72. Rainer72 is a streamer here on Twitch. A great one on that. Obviously, American time zoned. He is I don't get to catch him as much as I can, but he was very gracious to give us some of his time, so we joined in. Today, I'm bringing in someone else. I'm bringing in a guy called Sanjin. Some of you may know them. So Sanjin's another guy, another painter, dabbles in gaming as well, but he's also uses the airbrush as well. So we're going to bring him in just to chat, chew the fat, answer any questions along with me. I might ask him some questions. You guys can ask him some questions, and we'll do that kind of jazz whilst I'm just doing some priming. So let's get him involved. Let's do a thing. Where are we? Down here. I'm going to drag in my man and see how he says. So hopefully he should hear me saying hello. Sanjin, can you hear me? No, he's mute. He said something, but he didn't actually say something. I can't hear him. Fail. I'll let him figure that out. In the meantime, we'll crack on. I got an airbrush. I bought it last year, still in the box. Lol, I need to start. Mark, that's exactly what I did. I was lucky enough to have the airbrush through assistance from when I got partnered here in February. So I got partnered in February with Twitch, and the glorious viewers assisted me in purchase. It wasn't really on my radar as something I wanted to purchase. I got so much to learn with the traditional brush. But I showed interest in having one, and people just threw some pennies in the pot, and it all added up. So it didn't cover it all, but it certainly helped. So I managed to get that then in February, but I only literally brought it out last Wednesday. So we had Grendler and Gatemace, the Swedish Mafia. They came over to the UK for Warhammer Fest. So you may remember when Warhammer Fest was in the UK. As part of that, Grendler actually used the airbrush on stream to show some bits and bobs. That was the first time my airbrush was ever used, was by another person, Grendler. And then he helped me to run through it as well.
Alright, I think I fixed it, by the way.
Oh, there we are. There's our man. Right, let me turn the audio down on the music, and we'll turn you up, because you're slightly quieter. So let's... oh, that's why we can do this.
I have my volume all the way up over here.
We're good, we got you. It's alright, it's my end, it's my end. The wonders of having all these channels and stuff. So, let me do the do. Give me 1 second. And let's just do that, and add you to. You're now in top right, Sanjin. You're top right. You're on the stream. You're on the overlay. You're on air. How are you?
Mom, are you watching? I've made it. I'm an e-celeb.
Mom, I'm on Twitch.
Proud of me, Dad.
How are you, man?
Good. How are you doing, man? What's going on?
Cool.
You ready to do some airbrushing today?
Oh, it's going to be hilariously fun. I know you're excited to watch me prime. Priming is the most exciting thing you can do in airbrush, right? Isn't that right?
The best thing you can do with your pants on.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I'm going to start off with some boring bits. We're going to put some water through to make sure we don't have any issues there with flow. Yeah, no one likes having bad flow. And after that, I'm going to do some black. So I brought you on to talk about Zenithal, pre-shading, just airbrush in general, use with color. I haven't got as far as using color. Obviously, that's the next step. I'm looking to actually do my Primaris Marines. Their base colors, their initial shading using the airbrush. That's what I've decided I'm going to use as my project. So my Death Guard, we're going to... I mean, I wasn't planning on using the airbrush to base them, but I guess I could if we're doing tabletop. Maybe we could do an airbrush in Death Guard.
Yeah,
So,
it's really, at that point, it's no different than doing the priming, honestly, except thinning.
Well,
and you're going to save a whole bunch of time.
Well, that's the consistent. That's the very biggest, I guess, as most people would suggest. Well, the biggest hurdle, the biggest thing to learn, I guess, is the mixing. Surely it is having, rather than just opening a paint pot, potentially thinning it down as you should with some water on your wet palette and cracking on with a traditional brush. Here you've got to add what? Like I said, there's so many things that can confuse someone who hasn't got any base knowledge, myself included. Like I said, there's flow improver, there's thinners, there's just water, there's pink medium. You could use, I don't know, like how do you go about, let's say 101 here, Citadel paint, Death Guard green. I've got it new to do it as my base color. If we're going to do this with an airbrush, do you thin it at all? If you do, what do you use? What would you recommend? What have you used in the past?
Yeah, so when you're taking something, I mean, it's even more important. You never want to use a paint straight from the pot most of the time. And with airbrush, it's even more important because you're forcing paint and air through a very small nozzle. And it has the tendency to dry fast because you're pushing air through it. So you actually need to thin that way more than you would normally have to thin a paint to use a brush. So for instance, if I'm doing something, it's going to be like if you're using Citadel, you do like one brush load of paint. And I would do like 6 of whatever medium you're using. So I usually use thinner because it's not as humid here. I want
Which
mine to
brand
dry
thinner?
fast.
Not that it really matters, but just for like Vallejo. Or...
Yeah, I use just the Vallejo airbrush thinner.
Well, that works out well because that's what I've got.
That's my go-to product.
Forcing things through small holes. Giggity, says Moses. You'll do well here, Moses.
And then at that point, you just you've got to make sure that your paint is going to be, it needs to be really thin through an airbrush, and it's going to look like it's too thin. You're going to be like, this isn't going to show anything.
It's going to look too thin.
Yeah, it's going to look like a wash basically, and it's going to take forever. But the airbrush really does fix that problem of it not showing up. So you need it to be thin, that way it can go through your airbrush without clogging.
Okay.
So you've really got to up your and even if it's just water, you need to put way more in there than you would normally do for normal paints, but not using an airbrush, obviously.
No. Okay. So we're not just going for a kind of, like you normally say, like a milky consistency. It's the generic term you read on the internet as a kind of go-to, but we're just talking, I know what I would normally glaze with, or what I would call a thin layer. We're going for something like that.
Right, and it's close to that. It's like that skim milk thing. Yeah, so it's close to the consistency to a glaze.
Okay.
So that's the way that normal paint should go on with an airbrush.
Any kind of color we're talking. Obviously, we're talking about basic colors here. We're not talking about anything. What else would you really do? You don't put washes through. You don't put. So we are just talking any kind of paint, aren't we? There's no other. Is there an example where you would potentially put something through even thinner, or potentially not thin it at all, or is it just one rule fits all?
There would never be a point in time where you would want to not put it thin. If it's a paint, it needs to be thin. Otherwise, you're going to run the risk of it being too thick and clogging in your airbrush, and then you're going to get the spider web effect, and it's just going to spatter everywhere.
Ah, yes, the classic spatter that Raina warned us about.
Like a Jackson Pollock painting.
Okay. Yeah, we don't want that. No one wants that. Okay, let's look at the check. Oh, wait. 1 out of 3 blight drones I built so far. You've got 3 blight drones. I've got 2. I can't even claim I've finished building the first sprue, because technically I've got 5 poxwalkers left from the very first set of sprues from the Death Guard. But that is it. So once I get those last 5 poxwalkers together, in some sense, I'll be very, very happy. It will be a small victory for me to actually finally have all the sprue together. But bear in mind, these, for example, as you're seeing on screen, these are only dry fitted, so we've got blue tack hidden in here. We'll see how if they even, the force of the airbrush takes them clean off. We'll find out. So I'm going to blast through these real quick, and then we're going to switch out to the white. So the first thing you'll be joining me with, that I'll actually be asking you proper questions about, is the paint swap. So everyone's different. People swap paints from one color to the other differently. Some will just run the color through and let it change consistency. Some will actually clean the brush out. I mean, I think Rainer was saying that he was just going to put the white in and let it run through whilst it's grey and then into white. Would you clean it? Is that how you approach it?
Pretty much the same way as Rainer, because when you start getting into more and more airbrushing, the most tedious thing you can do is clean your airbrush between things. With primer, especially, it's super easy. That's why you don't put much in the cup, because you're going to prime the model. If you're going to do the white right after, you just clear it out in your little filter cup, that you hold the airbrush in.
Yep.
And then you put the white in there, let it run for a few seconds, and it'll go from gray to white, and you're set. You don't need to spend all the time disassembling it and cleaning up the nozzle. It's just a waste of time for stuff like that.
Do you not need to do that, or is that a laziness thing, or is it like it's just not required?
For priming, it's not required. Now for paint, obviously, you have to be much more careful. If you're switching colors completely, then yes, I'll disassemble the top of the airbrush, take out the nozzle, and clean it if I'm switching colors.
Okay. All right. I guess also it depends what colors you're changing as well. So
yes,
if you're
exactly.
going from a very bright color to a very dark, or vice versa, and there's going to the transition being so stark will depend on what you need to do then.
Yeah, and if you're painting something and going to something else, like if you painted the cloak, then you're going to start the armor. If your cloak was red and your armor is blue, you really don't want to have red in there, or you're going to make a weird purple color.
Purple's best color. What's the problem?
Purple good. Confirmed on stream.
Okay. So in this case, we're going from a black primer to a white primer. Same brand, but obviously we don't... I guess in this case, I would probably say I could run the white through, because if it was grey, it wouldn't be the end of the world. But I mean, as you can see, hopefully I'm playing off stream at the moment, so I need to... Purple equals God of Colours, indeed. Hopefully you can see, even with priming, I'm still doing very, very thin. I'm very cautious as I'm learning the kind of consistency and how much comes through at what angle and all that kind of jazz, So I'm finding I think Scott, was it 86 Scott? Last time goes, man, you take ages even to prime, because I was doing it so thin. Or like he was like, I'll just blast it on far quicker. And I think that's just in my nature of being far more cautious. I wouldn't say it's a better or worse.
And it's a good habit to get into. Also,
yeah.
I mean, doing it the way you're doing it, sure, it's slow, but you're just learning this, and you're seeing how the paint reacts to the miniature, how it goes on, and in what spray pattern it goes on. That's all things that you need to learn as you're airbrushing. So even if it's slow, this is the best way to learn. I'm
finding as well that like I said before, when Rainer was here last week on episode 1, so to speak, of this kind of 101 tutorial session, I was taking knowledge from what I learned from spraying car panels in a much bigger surface area with much less need for accuracy as such, but like listening to the air going through, aiming, thickness, all that kind of thing, I'm finding actually does come across to doing it this way, to doing miniatures, to priming with an airbrush. So I'm finding the skill transitions not too bad. The bit I'm sucking at the moment, and I think a lot of people will fall down with more than anything, is aim. It's just now you are trying to hit I can certainly see in the future if I was trying to do, like I was looking at today, doing the kind of the march on from doing just a basic black and white to Zenithal, which we'll do later on today, to something like actual targeted pre-shading of a certain panel, like like a knee or a shoulder pad. I know I'm going to end up aiming for a shoulder pad and hitting a face at least 4 or 5 times, because of getting used to how you're holding it, where you're holding it, where you're aiming, and all that kind of jazz. Is that something that you had encountered, that you had to work with, or does it just practice? Did you find a certain technique assisted you in learning how to aim?
It's kind of for me, I think the best thing that you can do is get yourself a kitchen towel, paper towel, something like that.
Yeah.
That's what I practiced on. So what you do is there's something called a dagger stroke.
Oh, what?
So
Sorry?
it's when you hold the airbrush very close to what you're painting,
Okay.
and you quickly move it farther away as you drag the airbrush up. So you make a quick stroke that kind of looks like a dagger. And then you make little circles as well. So you practice your aim just by
dagger.
holding the brush down and slowly making little dots on the paper towel. Once you can get those where you want them when you're aiming, then you know you're ready to move on to the color. If you can't aim, then you're gonna have a real bad time airbrushing. Even the pre-shading, the pre-shading is going to affect your final color. So if you don't aim that well, you're gonna get a bad transition later. So before you move on to that stuff, you need to get those things down. You need to be able to aim that. And the little circles on the paper towel is the best thing I've ever found to practice aim.
Interesting. That's kind of cool. So the dagger, just go back, you said about double circles and daggers, you said. So when you're saying daggers, you're on about having it close. I'm trying to do this on screen, on streams, others can see, but it's like quite hard. So having it here and starting with a tip, and then as you move to the right, you also move away so that it expands wider. Is that what you're saying? Or vice versa, starting wide and going sharper? Or
yeah, it'll actually end up sharper the farther you move away from it to a point. So it's just a really quick, like a flick kind of thing. So
as you
it's like
that's a flick
away from the paper towel to create this long, thin stroke. And that's just to practice consistency and how you're putting the pressure on the trigger, because that's a really hard thing to learn too. With a double action airbrush, you've got the push down for the air and the pull back for the paint. So it's a good way to practice that as well.
That's a good point. Actually, I haven't actually mentioned in this stream today what we're using. We are using the Iwata Eclipse HPCS. It is a dual action, pressing down for air and pulling back for paint. Again, recommended to me by other streamers who are more experienced, higher expertise, all that kind of jazz. So I'm kind of, like I said, I'm calling on skills I've used before to assist me, and so far I wouldn't say I've been out of a comfort zone, but that's because I can get away with it because my aim being so terrible, we're just doing one color. We're just fail. We're just not worried too much. Again, I obviously I've missed the top of, you can see down there potentially. There you go, you can see. But because we're doing a Zenithal style on these, the white will come from the top and I'm not too bothered. Plus it's dry fit.
Yeah, it won't make much difference at this point.
No. So, okay, whilst we're talking about consistencies and aim and all that kind of jazz, so is there anything to consider at this point where you are just priming? If there's someone doing this for the very first time, I mean, I've done this last week, so I'm not too bad, but someone who's watching the stream today for the first time, going back to the fundamentals, don't fire the paint at the minute to directly start to the left or the right, go across like I'm doing here, left to right. Anything else you'd want to add that you found helped you when you were starting out doing priming or base colors? This applies to doing base paint as well, not just priming.
Yeah. First and foremost, the number one thing I can say is before you even start with the, even if you're going from left to right, you start before the miniature. Always a good thing when you're priming. Then let it go across. Check again. Use a paper towel or something. Check the way that your paint's coming out on the paper towel. Sorry,
okay.
Dog. He's like, hold on a second. He's right up in my mic.
Have we got extra puppy guest on stream?
It's like he knows that I'm talking. He's like, hey man, let's hang out real quick. So the what I mean is by the you check the consistency of the paint when you're doing the priming. You want to make sure that you're not getting any splatters or anything before you start the priming. So I just always like kind of prime the brush by running it on a paper towel real quick. See what it looks like. Are you getting a little splatter? Then you know it's not good to use. You need to clean something out. So basically just like that before you start actually laying anything down.
Okay, well that's good. I don't know if you know, but I have got one off to one side. I've been testing on it. I just don't put it on stream because if I put my paper towel on stream, you get this amazing amount of glare. So like, but yeah, we've got here. You can see I'm doing some test bursts. You can see here I'm just doing all that. Just again putting it here and then like knowing how that's where I'm getting a small amount. You see, like I can get a bigger amount in there and so forth. So
yep. And that's just what you want to watch for is to make sure like on the left you can see like you've got a nice, easy, smooth layer going on the airbrush there. If it was clogged or something, it would just like, splatter out and it would go everywhere.
Okay. How weird is that? I just noticed as well, just going off topic into the bot being as weird as being. I've noticed the automatic messages are just the one. It's only when it's responding to command. Responding to commands does it have a random spaz of multiple 2 responses. So strange.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna put Link outside so he stops interrupting me.
That's all right. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the bot today, guys. I apologise for that. Obviously, I did run a Tech 101 stream. Clearly, I need to watch my own stream back and figure out what I did. Learn from myself. But I believe it's just something to do with potentially being authed on 2 accounts. But what I don't understand is the bot that we used for that tutorial isn't even on the local bot. And the second bot account shouldn't even be responding and listening. So it's just listening twice for whatever reason. So I suspect it's something to do with a recent release or even my bot right now. It's hosted on a remote server. So it's entirely possible that it is replying twice for another reason. Although Pixie Lou did say she had the same issue on her stream. I don't know if Pixie's using Phantom Bot or Nightbot or... Curious. Well, hello. A bit too thick there. Right, what I'm going to do as well, I've just realised, not realised, but just aware that this chap's in the background, so he will get some splatter. Using Ankbot. Okay, so it's the 2 values that are very confusing. Yeah, I agreed. It's like there's a second... It's still saying Flickit as well. And also, one's got... I'll tell you what, one's got triple exclamation mark. Give me 1 second. I will go and do another investigation, because that kind of gives me a hint as well. Because when you do the Flickits, i.e. checking your points, for those that don't know, the Flickits are the currency you earn when you watch the stream here. And it's automatically added when you subscribe, or when you donate, or when you watch, or all that kind of jazz. So, but I've noticed one's got...
back.
That's all right, man. We were just talking about the bot being bizarre as well. Just notice the bot's responses when someone asks about their Flickit, their currency. One of them's got 3 exclamation marks, one's got 1. So I'll be curious to see. Maybe that's what it's doing. It's so weird. I didn't change... Oops, sorry guys, I hit the mic. I didn't change anything either on that last tech stream. I went through my settings and compared them, but I didn't change anything, I thought. But it's such a strange bug that I've not seen before.
Yeah, that's just really random. And why is it different values?
Yeah, so exactly. It's so weird, isn't it? Paint says Bug King. I'll do what I want, goddammit. You're not my dad. Yes, sorry, I just noticed as well. We are doing a whip gallery check. We'll do that later on, halfway through. We won't take up all of the stream with Sanjin. We'll have Sanjin for the first initial things, hour or so if so available. And then halfway through the stream, maybe in the last half hour, we'll do a whip gallery check, and then we'll put song requests on for the last bit. But whilst we're going through that, let me go to points a second. Right, so the triple exclamation mark or whatever it is, the 1, 2, 3, yeah, it is triple, isn't it? Is the one from my bot, always. So if you get a response with 1 exclamation mark, that's not from this bot, it's from something else. If you get one with triple, that's the one I've set up. As far as I can tell, it's just random.
So would you say it's a phantom bot?
I see it. I see you done there. That's clever, that. You're a clever guy. You're a funny guy. People should watch you. Where can they watch you, Sanjin?
Twitch.tv/Sanjin. They can check me out.
There you go.
Pacific time, 5 p.m.
Lovely, lovely. All right, I'll just blast through these quickly now because we want to get to some actual white. Oh, I just noticed my blue tacking in this case clearly is arms. Not that good. Have you got the Death Guard, Sanjin? Have you done the 8th edition purchase? Have you done a thing?
I have not, and I'm not sure. I have a really big Kickstarter purchase coming, a Massive Darkness. So I've got like 160 miniatures coming. I don't think I need to even get more at this point. So okay. I've refrained from buying more things for now.
You have much more willpower than me. Okay.
My purchases all go towards Kickstarter, so I just have to stay away from that. That's my thing. I got to stay away from that.
This is where I struggle, because I've also got Kickstarters coming in the form of I've got the Smog Simon one that I backed, and I also got the Luxumbra Busts one from Infinity, or Luxumbra. Based on the
Infinity. I didn't do the Luxumbra. I was really close to getting that.
No, didn't you? Really? Yeah. I'm really excited. That's probably the one I'm more excited about that than Smog for sure. I think, you know, as a red-blooded male, I have more excitement around busts. I can't explain why. It's just a thing.
it's like you were born that way or something.
Yeah, it's like I was programmed or tuned. I don't know. I just feel like through generations of evolution, I just want to paint more busts. I just like busts. But yeah, I am definitely really excited for those. Look at that, making waggle his arm.
This is a waving hello.
Oh dear, the wonder. So those who are asking why is this the case, what I've done here is I'm doing a dry fit, because I intend to paint these with the traditional brush, off the sprue, or off the final model. So I'll be doing, in this guy's case, I think I've got the arms and the backpack separate on this guy. I mean, it depends per model what you can achieve and how they sit and where I feel like I can get the brush to. So I've just used some low tack. In the UK, it's called blue tack. I'm sure you guys have got various different names for it, just to stick them together, so that when I do the white on the second pass, to do the pre-shading, or what you want to call it on this, I'm probably end up doing Zenith. I call it Zenithal, and that's what I'm going to call it going forward until corrected or told otherwise.
That's what I still call it too. It's close enough.
Yeah, this idea of pre-shading, I was researching it before the stream, so I wouldn't give misinformation. So I was trying to find various sources, and I asked in Discord, and I watched a few through videos on YouTube and so forth, and I seem to find that I was coming across a lot of misinformation, or potentially not misinformation, but just contradictory statements from different sources. So I wasn't really sure what to call it in what instance. All I am sure of is what I call zenithal lighting, which is the having a light source, either a specific light source or just a light source from above, where you put a lighter shade across a darker shade. So that's what I would class as zenithal. So in my case, I tend to always do a black base and then do a white zenithal highlight from above. Now with the rattle can, prior to purchase of an airbrush, I was doing this at 45 degrees, like 45 degrees above, so like here-ish you would say, something like that, about 6 to 8 inches away with the rattle can, and I was doing multiple passes on the front, and I do multiple passes on the back, which obviously gave you shading and highlighting from front and back, which is not true to one light source in the sky, but it was enough to give me a kind of an idea where my highlights would sit when I came to it. So that's what I've classed as zenithal. It's always been that way. It's not one source, it's just light from above. I would probably say, for my understanding, that pre-shading either is one source or is just specific targeted highlighting specific to that miniature. So, you know, as I use a Space Marine, you know, shoulder pads, pauldrons, really call them what you want, knee pads, and aiming a lighter shade specifically where your highlights are going to be when you're finished. That's what I would say a pre-shade is. But
yeah, and it depends also, because in, let's say, for instance, the gunpla world and the larger tank building world, pre-shading is something completely different. Wherein between panels, say like if you're building a Gundam model, in between the panels of the armor, you would pre-shade with like a really dark black or a really dark brownish black color before you start your highlight. So you wouldn't actually shade later. You would just use your airbrush to blend the pre-shading into your normal colors. So you would start off with that. So that's kind of how that came apart there, or came along there.
So that's interesting, because I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Storm Phoenix. Someone put a link in our Paintball Throwers Discord saying, has anyone painted like this before? And it was in reference to a photo where a chap had clearly primed his model. Then he went through and did all the, like a monotone approach. Monochromatic, I think is another way of referencing it. So it was basically black and white, the whole thing, but it was black and white to an incredibly high detail. So it was as if, you know, someone had finished painting it. Let me just kind of ruin the magic here. Just get a bit more angle. There we go. So someone had painted to incredibly high detail. It was as if someone had painted it, finished it, got Photoshop, and then removed all the hue. you know, that kind of thing. That was step 2. And then step 3 was adding the colour incredibly lightly, multiple thin coats, and using that black and white that had already been set to actually, you know, show the highlight and shadows, which is very cool.
That is a really good technique. Basically, when you do that, when you do the extreme zenithal highlighting like that and primering, most of the time when you see the color put on, it's done through an airbrush and through inks alone. So it's also very hard to do, because if you mess up, you're screwed.
Oh, really?
Because you can't replicate that with a brush when you go through an airbrush. So they'll do the black to the white, and it'll look like you said, super monochromatic. Then they'll take inks or very, 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 very thin paint and lightly go over it from afar, and it paints it like, it makes it look like it's been completely painted up with color, even though it hasn't. It's just one color. So say it's a large bust and there's a whole bunch of skin, and they do that. They just put one flesh color on there, but it looks like there's 3 or 4. But it's all the primering showing through because their paint is so thin.
That's crazy. And it shows a lot of dedication and heart as well. There was a few people that said on the Discord at the time, lol, you can do it that way, but why would you? But it's like, you can say that about anything though, really. Like, why would you? Like, if it's fun.
It's actually kind of fast. When you get good at it, that's a very fast way of producing ridiculous, even like really good tabletop quality stuff for armies. If you can,
well, yeah, if you're a commission painter, then that's something you would want in your arsenal as well. You know, anything that's that keeps it come level of quality, but also saves you time is the key to more money.
There was a miniature painter who worked for Dark Age, I believe, and that's the only way he painted.
Really,
and it looked like he'd spent hundreds of hours, and he would spend maybe 2 hours on the model.
That sounds like Mecca for me.
Yeah,
imagine if I finished a model in 2 hours, the internet would break.
It's just one of those things. It's hundreds of hours of practice to get to that point, but once you're really great at it, it's an amazing technique. But it's not for everyone, and it's not easy at all.
No, but then that's just, you can tell that anything. You know, there are people now watching, turn the stream on, see I'm using an airbrush, turn it off again. You know, there's traditionalists that just want the brush, and vice versa. I'm of the school of thought, really, that I'd like a middle ground where I feel that the airbrush is a tool.
I love this show.
Oh my God, Mika Sackerman, thank you so much for the follow. I'm in the train of thought and in the camp where I feel like the airbrush is a tool that in some cases, in certain situations, is very, very handy, and certainly, you know, could be utilized and should be utilized. You know, it's doing things not like that when you just blast things with a block. It's just
and there's a lot of people who are against the airbrush in general, like, you know, not traditional painting, that's not painting.
Yeah, well, this is like that. I was surprised.
You get those results, then let's see that person get the results with an airbrush. See how easy it actually is. It's like anything else. It's an art. It's a type of the art form. It's a tool to use that can save you a lot of time.
Yeah, and that's a good point, actually. So I was very interested. So, like I said, this is the second stream that I've ever done with an airbrush. And I did the first one to a lot of good response from people in general. However, I also got some significant backlash. So I got some feedback on like, why have you changed? Why have you gone airbrush? You shouldn't do it. Blah blah blah. I had someone call me an airbrush scum as well. True story.
Pretty harsh.
Yeah, I know. True story. I can believe it. I was like, again, it's the internet. You know, people are people. People are very opinionated. Some, you know, it could be lost in translation. It could be something meant in jest that I took the wrong way. I'm generally a light-hearted fellow. I give and take a lot of trolling, but I think that was genuine, disapproving. I was like, okay.
That's just unfortunate because, you know, the people who are just really against it, they'll never know the joy of painting something well with an airbrush or priming 20 models in 5 minutes rather than getting out a rattle can, going outside and dealing with that crap.
That is the to me so far. Even that alone is worth the investment that I spent. So in the UK, we're not known exactly for our baking heat, but we are known for being fairly wet, fairly damp, and the humidity. It's very changeable, is what I'd say the UK is. And I've been dealing with, more than anything, wind is surprising when you go out there, and not personally, obviously, the elements outside. Wind can be a right pain in the ass when you're trying to do zenithal lighting specifically. I had remembered distinctly doing on one model where I was trying to use the zenithal from 45 degrees, and I'd do this, and by the time I'd sprayed the rattle can across, it had gone that way. It was, yeah. Yeah, it was just bizarre. So not having to deal with elements, also being able to prime inside, worth its weight in gold. Honestly, worth its weight in
And
gold.
have you ever primed something outside only to realize later when you look at it that some small insect flew on top of your model as you were priming it? That's happened to me.
Is that what happened to you, is it?
That's when I got my airbrush. There was like a gnat or something on top of this model I had just primed outside.
Was it chaos? Was it Nurgle? Did you add a fly to something that could be, or did you have to actually?
It was actually a chaos champion, the dude on the horse.
It's fine, man.
So that was
adding
thing.
effect. That's all right. I got away with that. Did you leave it? Come on, we want to know. Did you leave it there? Did you get it off?
I left it, man. Screw that.
So good.
Just added to the dynamic of the miniature.
Yeah,
I was like,
exactly.
I hand sculpted that gnat. You see that right there? That was sculpted.
Boo, airbrush, shame, shame indeed. Shame the airbrush user arena. This is the problem. Like I said, I honestly, I don't want to. At the time it happened, like an hour later, I think I was talking to someone else's stream and I mentioned it, and people were like, "What? Really? That happened?" And I was like, "Yeah, it really did." And the more people said, "No way, that's crazy," I thought, well, maybe it was just in jest, and I took it the wrong way. But generally, I take all things in good thing, and it was just normally there's some kind of indication, an emote or a previous conversation that we were already mocking, and it was just out of nowhere. The guy didn't even know I was in the channel. I was full lurking, didn't do anything. I was working at the time. Just didn't mention it, didn't say hello on the stream. I just turned the stream on, had it in the background. And yeah, just someone mentioned my name, and the streamer said, "Oh yeah, I saw them using an airbrush," and that person said, "Yeah, he's turned to airbrush gun. I've unfollowed." That was the exact sentence. I was like, wow.
Yeah, see, that's one of those that doesn't seem like it's in jest at all.
No,
and maybe
exactly.
You're better off because that's ridiculous. Come on, internet, you're better than that.
You're calling out Drene, are you? But yeah, it was just crazy. Like I just mad. But again, I don't know if they're serious. Maybe they didn't unfollow. I didn't even check. I didn't care. I just don't. Like whatever. Like
There's always going to be some hate.
Yeah, but exactly. But if it's a troll and meant in a jestful way, then they'll be here and laugh about it, and I'll notice them here. And if I don't see them again, then I know that they were true and they need to get more significant issues with their lives and they're worrying about someone else using an airbrush.
Priorities. You're doing it wrong.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, oh, we've got an arm off. Daniola, thank you for the, I'm going to call it a pity follow. Thank you so much. No, the airbrush has drawn me in. Oh, that's awesome, Marv. Well, I'm glad. I'm learning, and hopefully you'll learn along with and enjoy the experience. Like I said, I won't let certain things like that let me down or stop me doing the way I want to go and do things. Ah!
Don't worry, it's just a flesh wound.
Oriole, indeed, just a flesh wound. What a legend. Speaking of amazing airbrush users, this guy's one as well. Oriole Draconis is a master both with the airbrush and the brush. Give the lovely man a follow. If you don't know who he is, you should do. He's amazing. His work recently on the... It is Cosmic Corgis. It is a bit of Space Mutts. It's not my favourite, but the work is beautiful. You should definitely go give him some support. Thank you so much for the host, man. Welcome. How are you? Hope you had a good stream. They'll be sending a lynch mob for you next. Maybe, Dirty 30. Maybe, dude. I hope not. Hopefully, I'm approaching airbrush as a lesson to me and to all, so hopefully this is well received and people can see why I'm doing it, and yeah, all that does. And like I said, we've had wonderful help already. Obviously we had Sanjin helping out in chat last weekend, but we also had Raina live in chat. I've had other people also offer support and services, so I'm sure Raina and Sanjin won't be the only ones making an appearance as we go through this, but there are many really, really good airbrush artists here on Twitch. So Marv, if you're here because of the airbrush, then definitely, my friend, you want to check out Sanjin, Raina, Oriole. From Nasty's known for a bit of airbrushing on the side. There's a bunch of them. I could lift many people off, so. But you're in the right place, my friend. Obviously, we all know about Slow Fuse and Next Level Painting. These guys also world renowned for their airbrush skill. So, all the cool kids are doing it, Sanjin. Why can't I, eh? Why can't I?
Get on that bandwagon, sir.
Yeah, man. I'm going to jump on him. Hell yeah. Right, last one, then we are going to switch over to the white. and I'll be asking you how to approach that. So when we're going through that, let's actually preempt that swap. So right now, I'm about to finish my black. I'm Airbrush Scum. I love the fact someone took the time to make that. That's beautiful. What a follow.
I love the show.
Hilo OG, welcome to the stream as well. Thank you, both of you. That's
Now
amazing.
the internet has redeemed itself.
Yeah. There was me going to ask you a serious question about transitioning colours and all that jazz. And now I've got to say thank you to I'm Airbrush Scum for following the stream. Oh, it's Moses, you little legend. That's so good. I airbrush before it was cool, says Drene. Ah, one of the hipster streamers, eh? I see, one of them. Well, again, Drene is a streamer, so go see him put his money where his mouth is, eh? Let's see if he can truly show us those airbrushing skills. And if you are, in fact, if you want to show off your skills in any shape or form, whether it's traditional... Thank you, Sirius. Sirius, oh my god. Sirius Petrucciani. I'm going to go with that. How do you reckon I did, Sanjin? Was that good? Petrucciani.
Well done, sir.
Thank you. Yes, I'll go back to my little bit, as I was saying. If you want to show off your work of any kind, whether it's airbrush or traditional brush, we are going to be doing a trip into the work in progress gallery. !whip, !Twitch server, or !server. All three of these will get you to basically the same place. Our Twitch server for the channel here, the community in which most of us hang out. Obviously, this is just for this channel. If you want to talk to other streamers, you need to be involved in the Discord, the paint bottle throwers. That's where all the cool kids hang out as well. Airbrush and traditional. But yeah, get involved. Post your whip. God damn it, Gilly. I'm surprised, right? Because when the bot is doing a spaz and it's doing the commands twice, it looks like it's just doing points twice, maybe? Or it didn't did the alerts twice, did it? Just did the alert once.
Is it double charging for those commands?
Well, I don't know. Gilly will have to find out the hard way, but we'll see. Never forget, it's for a duck!
Mitch Hedberg, rest in peace, sir.
So how was your... Let's just talk briefly about your stream as well then. So what have you been working on recently? You're still working on Lobo, aren't you?
No, I actually finished him up. I've been doing some airbrush work on a miniature for Sniper Bob. We did a little exchange. On Mally's stream, he won the Guardians of the Galaxy miniatures.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I really wanted them.
The night model ones.
Yeah, so we did a little trade. So I'm painting Chaos Lord Cranon for him, and he sent me the Guardians of the Galaxy miniatures in exchange. So.
Oh, cool.
My lord.
Oh.
My lord. My lord.
We've got a little. Actually, I did put something in the whip gallery so people can see some airbrush.
Okay, cool.
That. So like actual detail work with just the.
Oh, this is gonna be like a very mute point, but I just used the airbrush and I got the end of the gun ammo clip. Like that to me feels like a minor win. Like that's a small thing to aim at, and I got him. Now let's be fair. If I was doing this from the distance I did it, I probably got his arm as well. So wide spray arc.
Yeah, see that's when you'll know when you get to the white. That's how you'll know how good your aim actually is.
Yeah, that's true. That'll be interesting, won't it?
Then you'll be able to see where you're aiming and where the white lands, as opposed to now you're covering everything with black. Yeah. But hey, maybe you'll get if you've already had previous experience. Like even the car panel thing, sure, it's a much larger thing, but you kind of understand how to get that hand-eye coordination down for that sort of thing.
Well, yeah, but we're talking at a much higher PSI and a much larger surface area.
For sure, but it's the basic thing that you need here. It's the same sort of thing. I think it'll translate well. I think you'll find this pretty easy for yourself.
God damn it. Well, truth be told, when Grenler was here, as you may or may not know, when he was there, I did do one set of priming with the airbrush, but that was with him guidance. So the truth be told, this is the second time doing it, but the first time on my own.
I remember that.
Yeah, so
just like Rainer said, same concepts is the important thing. It's the same concepts, just much smaller.
Okay. I'm finding already I'm going to add a little bit more paint because I know I'm going to change to white. I'm not putting loads of black in, which is meaning I'm running short fairly swiftly. Like then I was blasting paint going, it's not going on. I'm not seeing anything change. Now I know you're not supposed to see lots of change, otherwise that means you're putting too much paint on. That was another rule that I was taught, was if you can see the paint going on significantly, you're doing too much, or too fast or too close or whatever the case. If you can see it, you want to wait for it to just slightly change and get wet, so you can see it. Like that's what I'm working with anyway. So when I'm doing this, I'm saying either I see the color change or I can see it just get moist. Dare I say?
I was waiting for you to say moist. I was just waiting for it.
I hope Grenla's not here.
I hate the word too, so I get it, but it's still a funny word. But yeah, it's better to have too little primer and then have to put more in than to have way too much and then waste all of it at the end, because you're going to dump out that cup anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Even when you're switching to white, if you have a lot of black in there, you're not going to leave all of that in there. You're going to dump most of that out so that you don't have to go through all of that to change it to white. So you're just saving yourself a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, I hope so. All right, cool. So again, just whilst this has not been the quickest because we've been chatting and talking, I've been doing a thing, but there you go. I've just done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 basic primed. If we were just doing black, if you're doing non-metallic metals or something, you just wanted a plain black, I've just, wow, that really helps. I've just primed in black 5 plague marines without even trying. In what we've been chatting, so obviously we've been live for over an hour, but and
look how smooth it is. You never have to worry about, like, the rattle can. There's always the worry for me, always a frosting. That can happen with anything, and it sucks. With this, you never have to worry about that, and it goes on so thin that none of the detail is ever lost, as long as you don't blast it.
Well, yeah, that said, obviously you could do it with user error. It's very easy, but once you fix that with from a user technique, the actual material is not going to cause that. Whereas with an airbrush, with a aerosol, it could definitely be just an accident. Is what it is. And there's so many variables. That's the thing. You don't know the nozzle could be dirty, all that kind of jazz, of course, but also, like I say, elements, weather, angle, whatever. There's loads of stuff. So don't overthink airbrushing. Don't overthink airbrushing. Airbrush is relatively easy. Techniques come with time, he said. It's just spray painting, but with more control. Melonhead's in. Welcome. Melonhead Orion, another painter, another streamer. He's actually one of the very few scale model streamers here on Twitch Creative. So go give him a follow. Keeping the dream alive with the scale modelers. At least the very few that I watched. There's a few. I've noticed there are a few American side, but I very rarely get to see them. Melonhead's one of the few I get to see. We've had a few hosts from him during our morning streams, which will be returning tomorrow. As I said, tomorrow morning and Thursday morning. So Tuesday and Thursday mornings, I will be doing a 7 a.m. till 9 a.m. morning 2-hour stream, give or take. We might start a little earlier. Depends if I can actually get out of bed. But those are returning. This will be the first week back for them tomorrow morning. Try and get a bit more time doing this kind of stuff. So let me just catch through. Zenithal's root word is zenith. You create a zenith of light like a sunset. Oh, okay, cool. Random question, says Marv. Have you ever tried removing plastic glue, and how did you do it? I don't think I have. How would I approach removing plastic glue? Probably, unfortunately, elbow grease and scraping. Sanjin, any word on that one? What, have you had to do that?
Throw it away and start over.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
I seriously, I can't. I don't mess with that stuff. It sucks.
The thing is, with plastic glue, it's going to have melted, and it's going to it does the kind of although certainly in the case of plastic glue from Citadel, it creates like a weld, a plastic weld almost. So you've not just got to deal with chipping away the glue. You've actually got surface change. You'll have texture. You'll have all that kind of stuff. So it's a really big cleanup job. So it's quite a tough one. So yeah, I don't know, dude.
The guys in chat make a good point too, Rainer, and those talking about just not time behind the airbrush for getting good results. But you also can't. That is not going to circumvent you needing to be good with a regular brush as well, because at some point you're going to have to go in and work on top of the airbrush that you've done to either do more highlights or do more shadows. And if you don't know how to match the consistency and blend it correctly, it's going to look awful. So I mean, you still need. It's not a shortcut to anything except for saving time in general. It's not a shortcut to a great paint job. You're still going to have to put in the time for both mediums.
Okay. So I'll get back to chat. There's a few more guys making mentions. Don't forget to do all of the black, all of the base black. I think Latius is trolling. Don't forget to do all of the base black. Yeah, we're all good. We'll come back to that. I mean, I've not primed these bases just in case that wasn't a troll and you're talking about priming the base in case you're going to do gluing, or I don't know, maybe not. Just in case. These bases are only temporary. All of these Death Guard are on temporary super glued rather than plastic glued to their base, so I can twist them off lightly as well, because we're intending to put them onto proper bases later on. Myself and the Bug King are working that out in the details. But for now, these are just put on random bases because these are going to be tabletop quality. This set, we might end up doing the other set as the proper ones, and they might have the bases, so these bases might become permanent. It's just I super glued them so I could remove them should I require to. So we're not really worried about what the bases look at this point. This is just more about 101 airbrush, getting comfortable, having some fun as well. It does double Flickster, and there's 5. Okay, so Gilly got charged twice, did he? I've only been airbrushing since Christmas. It's all about time behind the trigger. Well, yeah, well, that'll come with time. That's another reason I'm trying to increase. Obviously, I've just had a daughter, so my hobby time in general has significantly decreased. And I only do it on stream. And as you've seen from me talking and distractions and production value, I don't get, it's not like a full 3 hours hobby time. So I'm going to try and add in my morning hobby streams, get a bit more time in. But I like to stream when I'm doing it. So it's what it is. Yeah, if the points, I don't know what's going on with the points. I don't even know how to attempt to fix it either. I daren't change too much. I don't know how Gilly tested it. I guess Gilly did one of the alerts, 250, I believe. The points cost for the alerts are below the stream. If you scroll down, you'll see an information panel. That'll tell you how much it should charge you. If you want to do a flick it, then an alert, then a flick it again and see, fine. But if it's charging you double, there's literally nothing I can do right now. I don't know why it's repeating it twice. I haven't changed anything. Obviously, we did do our Phantom bot, so I suspect it's something to do with that, where I set up the secondary bot, maybe the iWolf connection or something. I don't know. But I've only got one bot running. I need to figure out. My bot is run remote as well. It's not like it's local and I've got double-click to EXE. I don't open my bot on my machine. It's run on a server. So maybe there's something wrong with the server. Maybe something's changed there. We have to check it out. So we'll have to see, guys. So I apologise. Just have to deal with that for now. Okay, cool. So let's move on. So I've just finished with the black. We were doing this as a 101 sort of thing. So what would be the next step? How would you approach a change from black to white, which is obviously such a stark change?
It depends. So the first question is, how much black primer do you have left in your cup?
None. I've personally, and I cheated slightly. I've already, as you can see, I run out of the material. I then ran some water through it as well, just to get that last bit of cleaning. There's obviously still, as you can see, black on the side of the cup, but I've got nothing coming through. There's just water there, and you can see now it's just dry.
Fine then. Just at this point, you just put the white right in.
So you're happy to
spray it on a
white
kitchen towel for like 3 or 4 seconds, and you'll see it transition to white. And once you do, you're good to go.
Okay, cool. So. Again, guys, just as like I said earlier, so we are working with Badger's Style and Res here. I'll show you the ones I've got. They're all the 3, they're all the same, just the white, the grey, and the black. This was recommended to me by Rainer72 and others on purchase when I was originally getting all of the gear. So we could go from black to grey. There's nothing stopping us that. I'm doing the more extreme to white. My intention being I'm going to use the Warhammer TV, very basic, but fundamentally sound ABC style of getting these tabletop ready. So we're going to do the Pox Walkers. We're going to do these completely white, no Zenithal. So this will be the first time doing white purely. That's truth. I've never done that, I don't think. Oh no, wait, no, I am still a liar. I did actually do that on a undead spirit host. So, but yeah, we're doing white, and then we're going to do the Zenithal lighting on all the others, including some of the non-Games Workshop stuff. So. Wait, what are we talking about here? Okay, I got an airbrush for Christmas and I've been too scared to use it since then. Well, the Cyclone, this should hopefully help you. This is what this is here for. Go to either check the VODs on this stream, on this channel, or go to the YouTube, also linked below. You'll see the 101 introduction where we spoke about everything from setting it up to going through the very initial priming, as you've just saw me do there. Again, just to reaffirm the knowledge there. And if you want to ask any other questions, myself, obviously you see there are many streamers in the chat who use Airbrush, and obviously Sanjin is joining us live here via Discord, the interwebs. So yeah, I'm just doing a bit of off-stream shaking, lads. Nothing dodgy, I promise. Just to make sure. Are we putting my stream on a list? Am I going to get taken off Twitch because we're doing some chemistry? Is that what's happening here? I'm concerned and worried.
Flick broke bad.
Melonhead, are you derailing my stream? Is it you I have to blame? Let's cook. Now I'm on a list. Today, guys, we're doing some chemistry. We're making crystal.
What's my name?
We would never. Yeah, you would never. Right, so let's go in just raw dog with the white. Like I said, we're going to do some spray tests onto some paper towel. I've got this card set down on my stream area. Normally I have a much nicer looking backdrop with some nice contrast in the colours and like the matches the stream. But we've decided to just go some back to the black basic card that was there before that. Right, so I'm going to add quite a lot of white in this case because I'm going to be using it for a while. I'm just going to spray it onto here. So, what's this? Air. There you go. So you can see that, like, we've got white coming through now. And a quick blast. It's clearly white. Cool. If you're not streamers not already on a list, then then they weren't paying attention. This is actually entirely true. And I've just sprayed that perfectly in the middle, which is kind of weird, but never mind. Okay, so I'm going to do the Poxwalkers as a pure white for now. We've got one Poxwalker that I said we was done black before I decided to change my mind, so we'll do a Zenithal on him in a minute. But, yeah. Okay, so that was actually really, really quick and really a lot easier than I was just expecting. Again, it's this kind of more concern, I guess, or I don't know how to explain that, how to put it into words. But I guess I'm overthinking, like people are saying in chat, where I'm worrying more than I need to about things like colour changes. Because again, another thing that really put me off, and I don't know if some of the chat will agree with me here. One thing that really put me off really picking up my airbrush, sorry about that, people outside can't drive clearly, was the cleanup process. So we spoke about this briefly when Raina was on. Sandon, I don't know if you want to speak to this as well, about your process of cleaning, but people approach airbrush cleaning in different ways. Some will clean religiously after every use, even in between colours in some cases. Others will have a certain technique where like, it's fine, we'll just do it for certain paints, maybe just for the primers that are thicker or all that kind of jazz. How would you say you approach your airbrush? Does it sit and clean it all the time? Do you just clean it one thorough good clean each session? How long does it take you? All that kind of jazz.
I have actually, that's funny because I just covered this on my stream this weekend. I had the same kind of thing where people asking that questions. No. It's good because it's fresh in my mind. So what I do is I call it my junk mug. I've got like an old coffee mug that's filled with, Simple Green and water. And that's where my airbrush sits when I'm not using it.
Oh, do you know what? I think I was there when you said that. Cool.
And then if I'm in the middle of airbrushing and I need to change color completely, like if I'm going from a blue and I'm painting something else that's red, I'm not going to run the red through whatever's left in the blue because I don't want any amount of purple left in there. So that's when I disassemble real quick. And I actually use acetone on my metal pieces when I'm doing quick changes. So it's basically nail polish remover. Stole it from my girlfriend. I dip the nozzle in that, and then I dip it in water, make sure it's clean, and I take a Q-tip, dip that in the acetone, get the cup all cleaned out, just pour water through it, and I'm good to go. It's maybe 30 seconds of work, and I'm on to the next color.
See, that is an interesting piece of information, because I've got exactly that. I've got nail polish remover acetone that I use to strip metal miniatures. I set it in a bath of that, and I've not used it other than the one miniature that I bought it for. I literally bought it for one miniature, stripped that miniature, hasn't left the drawer since. So now I might have a use for it. So do you have it like sat in that? Explain that again. So do you literally just say, okay, quick change, I need to guarantee to clean it between colours. I'm going to approach this by doing this. So, okay, acetone, pour it through, like into the cup and through, or?
Right, into the cup. You have to be careful. Depending on what airbrush you have, you never want to get acetone around any of your rubber O-rings on the brush. It will eat it. So as long as there's no rubber part, and there shouldn't be from the cup onwards, but you just is something to be careful about. Don't try to clean your airbrush with straight up acetone. You're going to have a bad time. But yeah, if you're doing color changes, I'll take the cap off of the acetone and then pour it into the cap and then use Q-tips to clean the cup out and to clean the nozzle out.
Q-tips?
The
Really?
acetone is so strong that it's going to immediately clear any of that paint out, and then you just flush it with water, and you're good to go. Otherwise, when I'm not using the airbrush, it's sitting in the mug that's simple green and water combined. Probably 3 parts water to 1 part simple green. It's a pretty strong mixture for me. And then every night I disassemble the airbrush completely and I put it into an ultrasonic cleaner or jewelry cleaner.
You've got a
and that
jewelry
is another
cleaner?
mixture of warm water and simple green. Yeah, jewelry cleaner. It's fantastic because the ultrasonic really helps clear out the airbrush completely.
See, I've heard people using the ultrasonic to actually strip miniatures as well. Like, you know, because the ultrasonic cleaner it just vibrates really fast. That's basically what it does. It vibrates, right?
Right, correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've heard people. I don't know exactly how or the exact technique, but I've just read or heard in voice chat, whatever, people saying, "Oh yeah, you know, stripping metal miniatures. They use the jewelry cleaners, ultrasonic.
Yeah, I do as well.
And
you fill it full, and it's not the jewelry cleaner. The jewelry cleaner by itself isn't going to strip paints. It's the simple green, which is it's a really strong chemical.
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't mean just like
the paint will just fly right off. When you mix that with the vibrations from the jewelry cleaner, nothing is going to stay on that model if you want to strip it, and nothing is going to stay in your airbrush. For instance, when I do varnishes, I do them straight through the airbrush. I know some people don't, but I've never had a problem with it because I do the ultrasonic cleaner every night when I'm done with the airbrush. So nothing has a chance to get gunked in there because a simple green just doesn't allow it. It's so aggressive.
that's interesting to me because I bought again, I can't remember who it was. I keep saying Rainer, but actually to be fair, I don't know in this case. I bought the matte Vallejo I guess it's called varnish? Matte acrylic varnish specifically, it says. It's actually white, which surprised me when the bottle turned out. I thought the actual bottle was white and the contents would be clear, but no, it's a clear bottle and all the liquid is white. I was like, okay. And people again said that you can put it through an airbrush, and that's again, I want to try and demystify that by doing it on stream at some point. So we'll be doing a stream on one of the Airbrush 101s. We'll be kind of, you know, protecting in miniatures, and we'll varnish a bunch at once if we can do that. We find a technique, and we'll go through the cleaning process there again. But I'm assuming that will be another one I can use either with thinners or with flow improver, or maybe even neat, and then just like you say, a proper clean after. Ooh, there we go. I got a bit of a blockage then. That was
people have a lot of, because there's horror stories about the frosting, you know, from aerosol varnishes.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
With the Vallejo and the airbrush, never zero. I've varnished hundreds of models, never had a single frosting incident.
So that's interesting because again, like that's exactly it. I am that person. So I bought these again, not doing any research. I just bought the Citadel's whatever it's called. I can't even remember now. Purity seal.
Yeah,
and
stay away from that.
Yeah, well, I went to buy it for
crap.
wedding miniatures. So we're talking before I was even streaming. When I was watching Lathius and I was watching Slowfuse and I was watching Grendler, and like finding Twitch creative for the first time, even though I've been on Twitch properly for like since 2008. You know, creative just wasn't a thing that I'd even watch because why would I? I didn't know that miniatures were really a thing until I was painting them again. I thought, well, you know, I wonder if they do it on Twitch, and sure enough, they did. And yeah, it was like at that point where I was like, I don't know about this. Like, I don't know anything about it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And I lost my train of thought then. That was a really important point, and I can't remember it. Never mind. Long story short is...
Well, the most important point to take away from that is if you have aerosol varnishes, don't use them.
Yeah.
Just don't do it. Even if you're brushing on Vallejo varnish, you're going to have a better time than the risk of aerosol, especially the purity seal.
Yeah. What the hell is going on there? Flickster has dropped something again, bringing the total to 55, and the other one says 25. I don't even know which one's real. I at this point, I'd have to look at the drop counter.
Your bot is basically Johnny Number 5 from Short Circuit. He's having a bad time.
It's having a bad time right now for whatever reason.
He needs input.
I need to figure out. I need to find Like a Ninja. Like a Ninja. I need tech support. Like a Ninja is the one who hosts my bot currently. So I need to talk to him and go, dude, server's booked. And if it's not the server, we need to figure out what it is. But that will be my what to do after this stream, unfortunately. I'd like to fix it before tomorrow morning's stream. Okay, so let's carry on talking about that then. So you said what do you use the same one as me? Have you got the Vallejo primer? Not primer, sorry, varnish or protector?
Yeah, I'm pretty much Vallejo fanboy. That's all I use for anything.
Well, that's good. 'Cause
The
that's pretty
varnishes
much
are
what I've
awesome, but you have to be careful. The one thing to realize about those little bottled varnishes, you have to shake the crap out of them, like a lot, because if you don't, that stuff separates very easily. And if you use a matte varnish and you don't shake it enough, it's just going to be shiny because it's separated. So the medium is just going to show through. So just a little tip there. The medium's going to show through. And shake it a lot.
The medium's going to show through. That makes it interesting. I thought the medium would be clear. Or am I just completely confused? Sorry guys if I've missed some chat. I've probably missed a lot. I've been trying to listen to Sanjay, let him talk through, and as well as make sure we're actually doing a significant amount of painting for once. We're actually going through and flying through the things. Let's have a look. Yeah, but he had it wrong once. I don't know what's going on. Wait, what? Let me scroll back up. Stripping, cleaning release agent. Stripping, cleaning release agent, airbrush cleaning. Windex works well for thinner cleaner also. Okay, Windex. That's the window cleaner, isn't it, from America? That's not very American, that one. I'm not sure if it exists in the UK at the same level. Sillet Bang is an amazing alternative for UK peaks. Oh, really, Witch King? That's interesting. So Sillet Bang would be the... Is that the stuff you'd use? Or a UK option for stripping plastics? Because again, at the moment for the UK, everyone says, oh, I'll use Dettol. So when Americans say Simple Green, the general go-to for us in the UK is called Dettol. But if Sillet Bang works better, I'll just go with that. Because my Dettol's been meh at best.
I love this show.
Ingenious Dimensions. Love it. Thank you for the follow, man. Welcome to the stream. You treat it like acetone. Okay, something. The 55 is real. Yeah, indeed. I don't know what's going on. The OSL on Flick's fingers. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Oh, dear. What's the cyclone saying? Where are we? Walmart near me doesn't even carry Simple Green. Might have to try a Tractor Supply. Oh, well. Dettol is absolutely tossed for stripping. Exactly, that's what I found. I put it in for a week and a half on one random dark Eldar Guardian type dude, whatever they're called, and nothing happened. I mean, I had to use when I got it out, I used an airbrush and a toothbrush, an old toothbrush, and some elbow grease, and sure enough, it did take some off. But I didn't feel like it was going any quicker than if I was just to use elbow grease on its own without leaving it for a week. It was pants. Wait a second, let's grab a drink. Yeah, brake fluid. Brake fluid will clean everything. I've started to use BioStrip 20. That's interesting. Okay. Alright. Let's continue on though. So, Sillet Bang for the UK for plastic cleaning. So, I'm guessing then, you said you put yours in a bath of Simple Green. So do you do you put the whole airbrush in there? Like I'm talking the entire thing. So we're taking, disconnect it here from my quick release on my hose with the water capture I've got here. This inline water capture thing. We call it moisture capture, whatever. Moisture trap, I guess is the right word. Would you put this entire thing, including needle and all components, just like submerge it? Or are we talking,
Yep.
You do?
Yeah, I disassemble it. So I take the needle out so that everything can get through. You unscrew the little back cap there.
Yeah, I've taken mine apart now to clean it, so yeah.
Yeah, and I disassemble everything to do that. And then the other tip that I've gotten is, and what I've used this for a long time, is use, here in America it's called Hoppies number 9. It's lubricant, gun bore lubricant. I lube all of the metal parts with that as well.
Just found a mold line, don't tell anyone.
Good.
It's fine, it's a pox walker, we'll pretend the mold line's not there and crack on as part of his splash. Moving on, sorry, say again. The other tip you got was, and I missed unfortunately.
to lubricate them. So sometimes you'll notice, like if you pull back the trigger, it's a little more difficult than it should be sometimes.
Yes, I've had that already.
I use Hoppy's number 9. It's a gun bore oil lubricant.
It's a what?
So you lubricate all of the metal pieces with that. So the trigger into the trigger seat, all of that stuff. The needle, I always lubricate the metal pieces. It just helps keep it from any corrosion and stuff. It's kind of weird. Plus, I just wanted to say lubricate a lot. Lubricate.
I'm gonna say there's only so much of serious tangent I can take before you say a word like lubricate, and I have to switch back into our normal relationship and go, really?
There's like the needle checking guide. When you unscrew the back of the airbrush, you see that little piece in there that the needle slides into.
I'll show it whilst you're talking about it. Yeah.
So that's where I lubricate. It's a lot of little pieces in there that if you lubricate, it just helps everything run smoothly. That's all it is, guys. Don't be gross. Don't be internet.
Don't be internet. You're asking the internet not to internet, dude. Come on.
I know it's hard.
Optimistic at best. I'm going to pop these over here for even quicker. Right, so again, I love this. We've got 5 Poxwalkers done. We've got 6. Did I do 6? Yes, I did. I did 6 Plague Marines. So we're half of the Poxwalkers. And Hello 2000 has just joined the family. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Welcome. The moment these are done, what's the time? Oh, 10 to 7. Going lovely. Are you okay for time, Sanjin? Are you okay for
No, I'm fine, man. You're good. I'm just at work, so I've got nothing to do.
I'm just at work. I got nothing to do. I don't.
Yeah, and Rainer makes a good point as well. You don't have to be afraid of the gun lubricant or the lubricant in general. You can just dump that in there as well. Like even like in my junk cup where I keep the simple green and water, sometimes I'll just pour lube in there.
So, as in,
don't use KY. Okay, make sure that it's an approved lubricant for metals.
So are you talking about some kind of like mixture? Your cup, as you say, with simple green water. This is where it sits in. Potentially overnight, for a week, for days, for months, whatever.
Yeah, for however long I use the airbrush again, it sits in that. That way nothing can ever get stuck in there. If I'm lazy and I forget to put it in the ultrasonic cleaner, no matter what, nothing's going to stick in the cup because it's got simple green and it's got the lube in it that also stops stuff from getting stuck. It's kind of like a cleaner / lubricant. It does both things. So.
Right. Okay. GVK, thank you for the follow. Welcome. So if it lives in it permanently, you're not worried about rust or any kind of thing. Obviously, we're talking about stainless steel here. We're talking about treated metals that it shouldn't rust in with any kind of moisture or anything, because that's obviously the nature of the gun itself. So it makes sense.
Right, exactly. So probably best to not do that for the cheap Chinese knockoffs because those are not stainless steel. So don't do any of this stuff with those knockoff ones because it will eat that.
Well, I mean, if you're talking about knockoffs in general, though, you're talking about you're saving money with these knockoffs anyway. So that money can you can just buy another airbrush. They're that cheap, aren't they? That kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Spend $5 more and get one of those kids to make you one.
Wow. So okay, so you put the simple green and some. Did you say and the metal lube? We'll try not to be too lewd. And what else was the third component? You said you potentially put
water.
Just water, okay. So you'll never put the acetone sort of thing, which is obviously that's the one that can kill the rubber. So you'd never want to do that. So I'm just trying to reiterate this for people watching.
You always want to clean that afterwards.
So the acetone, your example of the acetone was simply in the cup, blasted out straight away through the front, just to try and do during paint swaps. We're not talking about using that as a cleaning product at the end of a session and all that. I mean, maybe you can use it. I guess you could put it onto the needle if the needle's out of the actual gun, and you could use the acetone potentially to help strip the metal off of the needle itself. But you would never want to run it through the air gun because of the fact that it deteriorates rubber, and therefore the O-rings that hold the needle could become an issue. Could deteriorate.
Exactly. If you have any O-rings at the top, you want to stay away from that. The acetone is basically for on the fly switches as you're going. So yeah. Because it'll clean everything out real fast. You run the water through it, and then you're good to go again. I would never suggest soaking anything in acetone or any sort of those things that can corrode the rubber that is in the airbrush. There are some O-rings in some airbrushes, so.
Yeah. Persephone, I think that's how you say that. NB, thank you for the follow. Welcome.
Persephone, yeah.
Is that Persephone? Persephone? Persephone, yeah. I think even in the UK it's Persephone, and I think I'm just a retard. I apologise.
# helpful sage.
Yeah. It's the chick from The Matrix. And the only that name comes up. That's who I envision. Is that right? I can't remember. I'm sure that's
Isn't that Trinity?
No, not the main. Oh, the Merovingian chick.
Oh, okay.
Don't be that guy. Don't turn into that guy. Don't devolve yet. We're nearly there. We're through with some strong assistance here for people. Do you know what I really love about Poxwalkers as well? The fact that we're using these as our test bed for our tutorial and our 101 and introduction to airbrushing. Even if I find imperfections in the cleanup. So I've noticed another little bit. There's like, I need to show you this guy. Obviously this is a white miniature and the lighting is not set up for that. It's currently set up for dark. So we're going to get a lot of, there we go. If I bring the focus in as well, just for this point. Something I'm finding with Nurgle, bear in mind this is the first Chaos I've ever painted. Like, look at this. We've got like pustules and we've got various, right, there you go, horrible details all over this miniature. I've managed, where's my blade? Uh-oh, there it is. So on his arm here, let's go back here. There we are. You can see there's like a pustule here and a spot here and another spot here. And then on his back, there's all of these ones here. Well, on his arm, as I was putting the white down, I've noticed that this bit here is a little bit of sprue. But do you know what? I'm going to leave it. Shh.
No, that's just another boil. I see just a boil there.
Exactly, that's just a boil. That's fine. It's fine. Love it. Beautiful. Again, apologies, guys, if I'm missing any chat. Yeah, it's Morpheus. It's definitely Morpheus. That's the one I meant, guys. Detol is absolutely... oh, yeah, read that bit already. Apologies. No, YFP is you. He's trying to explain it. Yes, the Bug King's trying to explain the history of hashtag YFP and why myself and the dongles and others most prevalently, is that the right word? I can't even say that. Use it a lot. Whatever. My vocabulary is never the best. We use it everywhere now. YFP became a thing thanks to the dongles. I blame entirely Gosh, but you know, Julian's partly to blame. But yeah, it was when I was my brother joined us on stream, tried to do a command, had a go at me saying, "It didn't work, bro. The bot's dead." Like in that kind of tone, and I was like, "You spelled it wrong, you fucking penis." And I had to apologise for swearing on the family show. I apologise, everyone, again. So that's how it became a thing. I was quite stern with my brother. And it seems that for whatever reason that tickled our friend, the dongles. Our friends, the dongles. I still think we should make t-shirts. I'll make a little blank...
Gotta have them.
That'd be amazing. Like, have like a paste on the t-shirt. You know, one of those like where you can use a semi-permanent pen. Just like a clear plastic on the t-shirt. You can write whatever you want and have a white hashtag, clear space, YFP at the end. You can make your own hashtag up as you feel per day. Genius. They'll sell. I know they will. Amazing.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It was the Bug Kings. Oh, that's what it is? That's Confuriously? I always thought it was your fucking problem. No, it was you fucking penis. Because my brother couldn't spell and tried to blame me for a bot going wrong when actually it was him the whole time. I think it was just the stern way in which I approached the brotherly love that caused the hashtag.
Sometimes you just need hard love.
This is it. Stern words.
Wait, I meant tough love. Hard love is something else.
But then again, I'm a nurse and it's antibacterial. We use a lot of Dettol that way. Oh, I see.
I love this show.
Barty BB, welcome to the stream. Thank you for your follow. Appreciated. Welcome all in, all the new people. Thank you so much. Bunch of you tonight. Really appreciated. Hopefully this is helpful for you. This is part two this is part two of an ongoing series where we attempt airbrushing for the first time. You're learning with me, not from me. I bring in some excellent painters from the world of Twitch. Tonight we have Sanjen. On episode 1 we had Rainer72, and no doubt we'll have more lovely talent in the future as we go forward. And we are just going through the very basics. It's literally from installation, setup and prep through. Right now we're doing priming. We've done basic black priming, basic white priming that you're seeing right now. We're going to do some Zenithal in a moment. The concept being zenith lighting. So we're adding light from above. So basically, long story short, we're having a darker primer color. In our case, the darkest of black. And we have a sub. Which glorious person it's Snickle Bunny.
Sub hype.
Sub hype. Let's throw some emotes in the chat. Can I get some hype in the chat for that glorious sub, the first sub of the evening, in fact. Thank you so much, sir. Snickle Bunny, welcome. There's the hype. Look at that. Glorious. And we're getting double hype thanks to the bot being balked tonight as well. Type it once, get double the hype. Why wouldn't you subscribe to the channel when you get double the hype here? Whoa.
Double hype for the cost of one. Act now.
I just had a blockage on the airbrush, by the way. That was interesting. I noticed the difference. So I was like,
yeah, you can see how it kind of comes out and just splats onto the model.
That's the first time I've had a blockage. So that's with the white. I noticed it, which I guess is a good thing for me as a learning airbrush person, airbrush artiste.
And for me, that's why I always thin even my primer just a little bit, even with just a little bit of water.
So you would thin even this stuff, the badger stuff that says not to bother, you do it anyway?
I do it for all of my airbrush paints. I don't care what it says.
Really?
That's just me.
So is that overprotection? Is that something you'd recommend? Is that just your style, or?
It's just my style. I mean, it depends on what airbrush you're using. Like my airbrush, I'm using a 0.2 millimeter nozzle on. It's super tiny for detail. So I'm overly cautious.
What is your airbrush? Let's tell the masses. There are people here that may not have seen your stream before or may not know who you are. What do you use?
A Badger Renegade Chrome.
A Badger Renegade Pro. That sounds like a really cool name, but it sounds definitely like it's marketed to the males.
Yeah, that's why I bought it. I was like, that's a badass name. I gotta have that.
See, that's male marketing right there. Did it have is there an upgrade that has a number on it? Can you get like the Renegade Pro 5000 and then like?
It's the Renegade Chrome 69, and it's painted in the red, white, and blue, and there's a beer can on the top of it. That's the Ultra Edition.
Limited edition Patriot version.
They actually do have a Patriot.
No way.
It's funny that you say that.
Is that really a thing?
That is a thing. Or it used to be. I'm not sure if they still make it, but they used to have a Badger Patriot.
Oh yeah, no. Now you say that, I've heard that name before. Does Front Nasty use it?
He might still have that. I think he did at one point.
Yeah, maybe that's where I heard it from. Again, Front Nasty guys, you've not heard the name before. He is a streamer here on Twitch. Definitely go check out his name as it sounds. Front Nasty, one word. Twitch.tv/. Check him out. Oh no! We've done the thing, boys. See, this is what I said about having super glue to the bases, so they're really easy to remove for the better bases. Apparently this guy's really easy to remove from the base.
He committed Sudoku. Seppuku.
Sudoku. He committed word games?
Sudoku, yeah. He committed Sudoku.
Look at Gilly on point, knows the bot's balked, therefore does a drop, says, nah, you got to have the drop, mate, and then saves one of them so it doesn't duplicate. What a legend. What a guy. What we'll do then is we'll do a quick ad of more super glue. Again, guys, just to be clear, we are super gluing to plastic bases, not because it's the preferred method. In fact, I would suggest you use a thin plastic glue. Kasupin, welcome to the stream, thank you. But I'm doing it in this case because the intention is to remove them at a later date from these bases, potentially for display bases or better bases. But these guys, this first wave through our Death Guard, are being done simply to tabletop, not to the highest ability that we have here on the stream. This is not going to stick, in fact. Come on, guy. Yeah, we're doing it with these basic, with these real simple bases with super glue, so we can remove them later and potentially put them on better bases to go on a display board that's being made by another streamer called The Bug King, who is here in chat today. He's just getting his streaming career started, but he's an excellent terrain artist, terrain creator. I'm not quite sure what the right term to use is. But either way, he does amazing things with terrain. He's done many tabletop gaming boards and all that kind of jazz. Oh, it's just not going to stick, is it? It's being a pest. And I have commissioned him through words currently rather than silver, but there will be silver being done to do a couple of display bases. In fact, not just the one. We'll be doing a few, and I believe some of it will be on stream. So if you want to see what that involves, what he does, then check him out. Go give him a follow, guys. He is in chat now. So a craftsman. No, I'm not sure I call you a craftsman just yet, mate. All I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that chap over to the one side. And we'll come back with our... Well, that means that's our 9 out of 10, unfortunately. So what we'll do is we'll do a Zenithal on this guy. Ruined. Yeah, Leia was on point, and so I counted double. Oh, I see. Okay, thank you. I think the original local hosted bot is running at the same time as the remote. See, I thought that as well, but it's not. I swear to God, there is nothing local running. I have not run a bat file. There's nothing in the background. I could even go as far as delete that bat before I go. It's just not there. No way. The only bot running is remote. There's nothing local. So it's got to be something to do with OAuth, something to do with it picking up twice. It's reporting to the same user, a bot named Gur, and it's repeating twice. So it's something to do with my bot setup that maybe I changed. I messed up. I did something. So we'll have to have a look into it. Unknown. Right, so I'm just blasting out some of the white where I let this rest for a bit to make sure we get a consistent spray again. Ooh, interesting. There you go, look, splat. There we go. Craftsman is a higher standard artist. I don't know. I'm not getting into a war of words. Okay, right. So let's go back on point. So we're about to do our first little Poxwalker chat. This is the guy that I did black before I decided to change my mind and go pure white. So this will be interesting actually. So what do you think, Sanjin? Can we go over this black primer with a white primer and not lose detail if we're thin enough? Is this a good test? Or is it worth just doing a Zenithal on this and we'll just leave it Zenithal, which I'm also happy to do, by the way.
You can spray the whole thing white and you shouldn't lose any detail, but you can, if you want to practice a Zenithal, this is a good time to do it as well.
Well, we've got a bunch of others to do Zenithal, and like I said, I'm fairly confident because my Zenithal isn't anything specific to location. Alright, I'm going to try and do it white as a test, and again, it's good for this tutorial series to see what we can do. Wow, QWERTY Upsalak. QWERTY Upalask. I'm going to go with that. Amazing, QWERTY. Welcome to the stream, man. Thank you for the follow. I'm going to go all over this white, Sanjin. So we're going to go over it all with white and see what we can do with thin coats of white over a black primer. So we've made a mistake. In this case, we want to try and correct that mistake with an airbrush. Something that I think with a normal traditional brush, unless you're very thin, certainly priming with a brush anyway, you would have to go and strip the paint down. I'd say that an aerosol can as well. You could probably get away with it, I guess, if you are careful and safe with the aerosol. As far as usual thing, not too strong, making correct passes across the miniature, not spraying directly at the miniature, that kind of thing. That will help you. But
it's a good thing to point out as well. Another thing the airbrush brings to the table. Say that you would base something large in one color, like you want a dark brown. Then you just like, I don't really like that color. I want to try something else. Well, if you're using an airbrush, you can completely cover it over the other color, no problem. If you do that with a brush, it would take forever and it would look streaky and bad. But with the airbrush, you can easily layer over another color and totally get rid of that color if you want to, without having to strip and restart. So
talking on that point then, let's talk about the evils, the ones that we all know as hobbyists. I'm sure most people in chat here, either viewers or streamers, will know from their own selves. There's the evils. There's the the yellow, the black over yellow, the yellow over black, that kind of thing. There's the whites, all this thing. Would you say that an airbrush, if applied thinly, you could argue that actually in that case it's not so much of a hard feat to do multiple layers with the airbrush and keep the detail? Because that's something
for sure. The problem colors are much easier to do on an airbrush, because you can get the layers so thin and do so many of them. Because with the brush you start to build up the yellow over a black. That's an impossible feat. It takes so long and it's so streaky. With the airbrush, because of the dispersion of the air and the paint at the same time like that, you're getting a nice even coverage. Even if it's barely visible, you can work it up easier and get a much nicer base coat from that. So you can easily work up red from black or yellow or white even without a problem.
Okay, well that's good to know. So that's something. So for those of you like starting off, maybe doing some iron fists or some with your Primaris Marines and approaching this, like for example, for those that don't know me as a streamer or as a painter, I have no affiliation through loyalty or previous experience with Games Workshop's 40k Space Marines. I have no particular chapter or legion or whatever that I cared about. So when the Primaris 8th edition came out, I was more excited about the Death Guard, but as I went through the lore side of things, the Primaris Marines, the idea of painting some Space Marines actually was surprisingly appealing, and more so the more I read about the lore of certain chapters and what I was choosing. But one of the significant honest truths are, when I came to choose a chapter, the color in which I would have to be primarily painting was a factor in my decision. And white scars being all white, or even Black Templars for a certain example. Black Templars were actually predominantly black and white. Iron Fists being yellow. There's many other chapters where the problem colours, so to speak, are the primary ones. So you'd have to deal with that on the reg, as our good long lost friend Dirty Miniatures would say.
Pieces, Dirty Burger.
So I did find that I took that into account. I truly did. I was like, okay, well, I'd love to do Iron Fists, but I don't want to do yellow, or I'd love to do, I don't know, pick X, and because of X color. So it's something worth noting with an airbrush. If it does make that job that much easier, even if that's your base color for your Space Marines, for your Legion, that actually if you can take that complexity away by doing your original base colors with the airbrush and then go in for the details with the brush after, then that kind of potentially opens up more chapters for you to choose from, should you wish to do so. It's just, that's just a general thing for stream viewership, something to consider. Now, I've chosen the Flesh Terrors because, truth be known, when I was a teen, my only miniatures Space Marines I painted were Blood Angels. But I didn't particularly want to go for one of the core 4 chapters. I wanted something a bit different. So when selecting what I was going to paint my Primaris, I also wanted to figure out how they tie into my Grey Knights. So I've already purchased Grey Knights. It's already on my to-do list. We've already, in fact, put some of the miniatures together, and they're on the rather large to-do list pile. I'll let this dry. So I was thinking about, from a lore perspective, was there any chapters that would make sense to be fielded with the Grey Knights? So Flesh Terrors came up because there was some book sometime somewhere in the Black Library where they were fought together. There are also Black Templars was another one that came up through Grendler, another fantastic streamer, in fact. And White Scars came up, and Iron Fists came up. And I went for Flesh Terrors, because they sound hilariously fun, because, well, they're Flesh Terrors, they're the closest to chaos you can get by being a loyalist. But also, there was no fundamental issue with problem colours. They are primarily a dark, deep, nice red. I like working with reds. Shoulder pads and faces tend to be black, which is fun. Okay, blacks have some difficulty bringing up. There's a bunch of series from my friend Genuine Vision, also on YouTube, and we'll be doing it here as well, about how to add depth and shadows and highlights to blacks, because they are kind of a problem thing, but not in the same way that a yellow is or a white is. So yeah, that's why I went with Flesh Terrors. Retrospectively now, maybe I'd like to have gone with Black Templar or Iron Fists. So maybe I'll do some for fun, just to try out this idea of using the airbrush to deviate around these problem colours. So it'll be interesting. Are Flesh Terrors still on the table? Yes, Flesh Terrors are still my one. Oh, whatever. Iron Fist, Imperial Fist, do you know what I mean?
You can tell I'm roasted, buddy.
Yeah, I'm getting roasted.
The internet's turned.
That's it. Flesh Fists, Raven Angels, yeah, whatever. Shut up. You know what I mean, boys and girls. The yellow ones. The ones that everyone does that are yellow. Shut your face. Everyone's triggered. I've triggered the entire internet. Oh, that's amazing. That's another fun thing we can do. We should just naturally just try and trigger by getting all the lore on.
Doesn't it just make you feel nice and warm inside?
It does. I do kind of like it. I have to admit, it's kind of fun. That one was not intentional. I can't even claim the glory. I did just get it wrong, but I'd love to have gone that one on purpose, but no, it wasn't. Yeah, it's like, there's like, oh my, the thing is, like, someone like me who's coming in from a painting perspective and learning the lore for fun, there are so many crossovers in names. Like, there's like Iron Warriors, Iron Hands was one thing I got confused on. Then the Imperial Fists, Iron Fists. I'm like, okay. And like, yeah, it's just, oh my god, there's a, again, if you guys don't know about paint bottle throwers, get involved, ! Discord. There is a link to the paint bottle throwers. There was a image in there that I think Genuine put originally that has every single major chapter and all the original successors, and then some on their own. We're talking an image that spanned all four, well not all four, but 4 of my big monitors. Come on, please. Yeah, that just blew my mind with how many are out there and how people are expected to know all the names and learn all the lore. It's just, yeah, nightmare. I always get Iron Warriors and Iron Hands confused every time, yeah. Took me so long to stop calling the Iron Warriors Iron Hands and vice versa, yeah. Successor chapters, indeed. Rainbow Warriors. Yeah, indeed. So, right, let's just go back on point again one more time. So this is our artist previously known as Black. Poxwalker, now white Poxwalker. He's done the Michael Jackson on us. Ooh, edgy. And I'm happy. I can't, generally I would say that if anything, the coverage on this one's better than the other one. I've got some here, like, you can see this one's still slightly darker, where I've done the white not as thick as where this had the black on it originally. So, yeah, cool. Okay, I don't think we've lost any major detail. I've still got all the ridges. We've got all the wrapping and stuff around the weaponry. So, yeah. Cool. Okay, where are we at? Oh, 7:15. Lovely time. Right, what we'll do is here, we'll take a break. We will go and look at the whip gallery. I will grab a drink. So last call whilst I'm getting prepared. If you want to show what you've been working on over the weekend, now is the time. All the links need to go into the work in progress gallery via !whip or !server, and I will have a little wander, and we'll do the studio music, and we'll have a little blast through. Sanjin, one last thing whilst we go to the whip gallery for you. I've got some white material in my airbrush. How long can I leave that in my airbrush whilst we go and do another thing? So we go and talk to the wife, grab a drink, go to the toilet. Do we have to worry about it drying in the... Should we not leave material in the airbrush whilst it's sitting? Just to bring this into stream, guys, to show you what I'm talking about here. I've got one of these cleaning position. I don't know if you can spray into these to clean them or to to clear out the airbrush. Also comes with a stand where you can just kind of sit it there and just use that as a resting point. So the question is, as you can probably see, once I get this back in, there is material in my airbrush still. Look, see, there it is. Can I leave that? Shall I just say, oh, unfortunately, that's paint that we're not going to use right now, and spray it through?
On Style and Res, I'm not sure. To be safe, what I would do you have flow aid?
I do indeed have flow aid. I would like you, my friend, have all the Vallejo.
Yeah, just put like 2 drops of flow aid in and mix it in the cup real quick, and you should be fine. Just to be safe, because I'm not sure on Style and Res. Normally, you have, I would say, like, not very long. Like, even at 5 minutes, sometimes your paint will start to dry on the needle.
We'll be in the whip gallery a lot longer than 5 minutes, that's for sure. Yeah. So put the flow aid in, and then mix it and same
run
as
it.
flow aid, correct? Confirm?
Yeah, sorry, flow improver. Yeah.
All right, so this is what we use.
But if it's gonna be, if you're gonna be a while, I would actually just dump the paint out.
Right. Okay.
If it's gonna be like 20 minutes or 15 minutes, don't leave that in there because it's gonna dry on the needle. Okay,
so it's going to be 10 minutes, I'd say, normally, if not. So let's put it through. Okay, so there's a rule of thumb, guys. So again, for the lesson here, any more than 5 minutes, I wouldn't leave it there. So dump the Style and Res, don't run it through, it dries faster. Dump it, don't run it through. When we say dump it, are we talking about tipping it out of the cup and don't... Because I was about to just press the needle and fire it down through into the cleaner.
Yeah, it's faster to dump it. That's why I have like a junk cup on the side. If I've got an airbrush,
I'll use one of these glasses here. I've got spare. Add some water.
So dump it out and then just leave some flow improver in your cup, a few drops of flow improver. And then we can clean it. And then once you're done, it's a good time to take apart the airbrush and you can show people, we can show them like maybe how to clean the tip and stuff before you get back into something.
Okay, we can do that.
So it might be an opportunity for that.
All right. So I've very archaically just kind of thrown the paint out the side of the cup. There's still a little bit left in, of course. I'm still going to I am actually going to put... What about putting a bit of water through? My go-to, if I wasn't on stream, if I wasn't asking you guys, the professionals, what I would actually do at this point, and just, again, I'll bring this back on stream so you guys can see this. I can now see my needle. So most of it is gone, but there's clearly still material in there. So I would actually put water in there and then just press the fire button and fire it through.
Yes, that's also a good thing to do. And another thing that I do, so when it's like that, when it's just full of paint in the cup, also I have a squirt bottle just filled with water, and I'll turn the airbrush upside down into my junk cup and then flush it out with that water as well. So I'll just squirt the water into the cup and let it flow back out into the cup, into the junk cup.
Okay. So I've just poured water in, I've just put full air and just pulling back on the trigger. Try and get that through for now. Dirty sinks are handy. A bucket of water or something underneath your desk. Dude, I would kick something like that instantly.
It doesn't need to be anything big. Like the cup you have there is just fine, for a session.
Yeah,
but definitely
I've got a bunch of these little
glasses
that I just tend to use. This has just got water in it, which is why I've got my little...
That's completely fine to use. If you don't have like a squirt bottle, kind of like an old style ketchup squirt bottle looking thing, definitely get one of those because it's fantastic for flushing out the cup.
An old. I'm trying to think what you mean.
I mean, it's kind of hard to explain. Here, they're just called little squirt bottles. I don't know if you guys have a weird name, you know.
Oh no, I mean, I guess just you know, a trigger where you squirt water out. You can use a squirt gun like
right.
style.
Just something. So you can put a little bit of pressure behind it when you squeeze into the cup to flush the water out.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you're thinking about the actual the force from firing from pulling the trigger. I was trying to figure out how it would be assistant in this situation. That's what you're saying. So you're saying that actually you use it, you fire the water into the cup and use the force of it hitting there to actually assist as well.
Right.
I think. I kind of get what you mean.
I'm just going to say right because I don't know what you said, but right.
Thanks, mate. Helping the internet to get rid of all of that
squeeze bottle.
To get rid of
like
all
Menor said.
Misinformation there.
Just take a bottle of water that has a small tip that you can squeeze, and you use the force of your squeeze into the airbrush cup as it's dumped over the top of your junk cup or trash bin or whatever, and that flushes out most of that paint.
Okay. I got one of these cheap and handy, says Confurioso. I'll click on the link. Get a wash bottle for lab use. They're cheap and only
yes, exactly like what Confurioso did. Something like that would work perfectly. Anything like that. Just a cheap plastic bottle with a spout kind of thing on.
Oh, cool. Hey, Confurioso links the Irish version of eBay as well.
Of course.
Mugen's excited right now. All right, I'll leave that open in the background. Okay, so something like that, and it. Now, have I seen that on other streamers? Is Next Level Painting and Slow Fuse or Rainer? Have you guys bought them on? Because that. Seeing that link's made me go, I've seen them before. But I don't know where. I'm just curious. Okay.
Maybe. I think Next Level Painting. I'm not certain. I have one of those that I use as well.
Okay, cool. Right,
but I don't ever show it on stream. It's always off frame as I'm dumping it into my little junk cup.
Right, so again, this is interesting to note. So me doing a trip to the whip gallery for everyone is proving a bit more time consuming because I'm having to stop, clean the airbrush out, empty it out, and even now, just I've done a bit more of a clean. I can show you if I just take it off. I don't want to do that. Let's take it off here. You can see that actually on the brush, on the needle at the bottom of the cup. Hopefully you guys can see that there's some black. There you go. You can see it there. There's some black on that needle. So I'm aware that whilst it's dry now, it might not affect me doing some priming after we go back at the end of this session. I'm certainly going to have to do my usual and take the needle out and be aware to clean that. So, again, I guess something to note, something to be aware of.
Yeah, see, and that's when, so that might not be a problem, but paint on the needle is usually a bad thing, dried paint, because it can cause the spattering, because you're not getting a smooth flow around the needle from the air. So the air is going to be pushing out in weird patterns, which causes the spider web effect and stuff. So it actually, if by the time we're done with the whip gallery, it might have dried to a point where it's a problem. But that's all you can always check.
Okay, let's do that. It's not a bad idea, so we'll do that. There we go. Right, so I've left the actual airbrush full of water, as in the cup, whilst we're going away.
Yep, that's a good idea.
That was a courtesy of Hellstorm there. Thank you so much, my friend. Again, Hellstorm Wargame, also a streamer. So many streamers here in chat today, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate it's not one of the normal ones. Hopefully you've all been having fun. We are going through talking with Sanjan here in chat, as well, in audio, as well as you guys in chat. Right, let's go do a whip gallery search, shall we? Let's see what we've got to talk about whilst I have a drink as well. So I will pause the music, and you know what it means. Have you been here, Sandon, for a recent whip gallery trip? Have you been here?
Of course. I'm in every stream, guy. Come on.
Oh, lovely. Beautiful. So you know what's coming then? The new classic.
Oh, I'm ready for this. My body's ready.
Your body's ready? Let's do it. Let's do this. Whip gallery's got loads of people. Lovely.
I love this show.
Thank you so much. To ByCarrier29. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Right, wow, guys, we've got loads of whip gallery references. Thank you so much. Let's scroll back up and catch the new ones. Let's bring that in. There we go. Whip time. Let's do it. Right, so let's scroll back up. Is that a bit loud? Is that a bit loud or is that okay? Is that okay? Let us know. So we went through these. Have we seen Moses stuff? Yeah, we saw Moses stuff last time. Right, so we're going to start with Moses' new stuff. Let's do that. There you go, guy. Moses gets to be the first. How can you not like this music? Do you know what? Grendler came in, got mad at this music. Got mad at this music.
Well, Grendler drinks milk as an adult male, so what can you do?
Here we are then. So this is the whip gallery. Let's go through what you guys have been submitting from your weekend's hobbying. We'll try and get through this fairly swiftly as time is short, but there are a lot of submissions today. Thank you so much, guys, for getting involved. I appreciate it. All right, I'll turn it down slightly then. It looks like the consensus is it is slightly loud. All right, cool. So sorry about that, guys. I'm just checking through this. Okay, so let's see what we got. What do we got? What? Why is Trevelyan an animal? What did I miss?
Oh, I told him he was my spirit animal.
Oh, did you? Oh, I see. Secret, created with a bunch of streamers watching each other. This is it. We just lurk in each other's chats like some kind of lewd, intimate family. Right, so we are looking at Moses666. We're looking at his Dark Elder Ravager from the other night. Finished off my Venom. So yeah, so add to my Dark Ravager from the other night. Finish off my Venom. Let's try and get some more angles of this and just try and zoom in as well. I don't know why it's. Don't know if things. Wow, it's okay. Ask and you shall receive. Good lord, that's a bit bigger than I was expecting. That's what she said. All right. Can I?
Heyo, broom.
Let's put it to here and scroll. There you go. Wow, that's really white. Good lord. There we go. Cool, man. I love the colour scheme he's chosen in these. Lovely, lovely pieces. Wonderful pieces. Like a green. Again, this is what I think. I would never have chosen that colour off like initially, but actually, that's kind of cool. I quite like that.
I love that they're gingers. Gingers are not represented enough in the Warhammer universe, so it's always nice to see
this is true. This
spreading
is true.
their gingivitis everywhere.
Yes, like my daughter. She will be representing in the hobby as a ginger. She'll probably paint some gingers as well. Wow, Moses is on fire. We'll show all whips added over the weekend, like I said, and there's more here from been a busy weekend. Gaunt Summoner ready for tonight's game of Silver Tower. Now this was added on last Saturday. So Moses, how did the Silver Tower game go? You got to tell us. How did it go? Enjoy it. Is he here? I think he's still here still.
I was gonna say he's getting called out and he's not even around.
Yeah, that would suck, wouldn't it? Hopefully he's in. I'll tell you what, after complaining about the size of the images now, they're massive now. We're gonna go back to the normal size because they're just, all of them are huge. Oh, this is cool. I like the cloak. Cloak's cool. Again, colour scheme's pretty cool. Very quite vivid blues and teals and the greens across all of the ones. That looks like a bit of Druchii Violet being used there. Are these done? Are these work in progress? Like, this has been a busy weekend. Gauntlet ready for tonight's game suggests it's done. So couldn't clean up the model as much as I wanted. Had lots of bits everywhere. Okay, fair enough. So it's done as quick as possible to play a game. That's cool. We'll call that tabletop then. We cleared the second and third trials. Was great. Awesome. I'm glad you liked it, man. Interesting. I've never played it myself. I've seen models painted by various streamers, but I've never actually seen someone. I've never seen someone play it, nor have I heard someone feedback on playing the game itself. So that's interesting. Let's look at it from a different angle quickly, and then we'll crack on. We'll see Sandra's done some lovelies for us as well. There's 9 trials and totals. Okay. Nice blend as well, actually. Did you blend this with an airbrush? Is that done by hand? Is that just doing washes? Is that doing like glazing? It's just a fluke. Let us know. But that's cool. Keep going, man. I see your stuff improving as I see each miniature as well, man. So I'm really impressed. It's coming on. It's definitely coming on. It is airbrushed. Cool. Okay. But I say it's a very smooth transition. So if you told me that was traditional brush, I'd have gone, that's really impressive. But airbrush, even airbrush. Like again, this is the thing I'm finding. Like I can't say.
You got
Sorry.
yourself in that.
Say again.
I was going to cut you off there. It's like you got yourself in that. Oh, if it's a brush, that's good work. If it's an airbrush, see, like you're making the difference that people make as well.
Wait,
it's like a cheaty way of doing it.
Exactly. Like, it's not like that's a cheating way. If it's airbrush, that's what I was about to tangent off to and say that even now that I'm learning as well, there's still an impressive amount of accuracy of brush control, of the pressure control, and knowing. So still impressive. The transitions, yes, are much easier to achieve because of the way that the natural nature of the airbrush. But that's not to take away from it. That's what I was about to say. Was actually, I'm still impressed by it because it's an airbrush and I understand what it is. But yeah, don't let Flick sass you. What? Oh, poor airbrush is always dissed. Oh, I see. All right. So this is. Whoa. Hype it up. Thank you so much for that. Hey Flick. Hey man, how you doing? Thank you so much, Healthier. Welcome back. That's just subscribe for the 3rd month in a row. Enjoy your bronze/copper barrel. I think that's what it's supposed to be. Either way, I'm gonna change the sub badges at some point, man. I don't like them anymore. But thank you so much. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, guys. I also noticed, by the way, when you hype it up, guys, you're getting the old command and the new command. That does suggest there's an old copy of the bot somewhere. So strange, like a caching issue or something. Very, 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 very strange. Right, anyway, Sanjin's sword has been on screen for far too long. Right, hello, sailor.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Say no more, say no more. What are we looking at? Talk us through it. You're on stream. You can tell us. What are we looking at here?
Oh, that's just it's not even a very good picture. It's just a random crap that I was doing on the sword. The blade is airbrushed. Really, I just wanted to show you the cloak. That's all airbrushed. There's no masking done on that, but that's the kind of stuff that you can accomplish with an airbrush that would take you 40 hours to do.
That's all airbrushed. Are we talking including this, or you mean like the details were brushed in after and it's airbrush on the cloak itself?
Just the actual blues in the cloak. The fur and the little circle there is not.
Right, that makes much more sense. Kind of like how the hell did you get such a straight line with an airbrush? By the way, would you be down for a commission to paint one of these? Well, if you can wait till 2022, potentially. I've not even looked at it yet. I don't know what it is. You dick. Have you seen what he's linked?
I'm looking at it. Oh my god, that's awesome. Cat girl.
I wonder why he chose that mini, eh? I wonder. Maybe. I wouldn't say no, it'll be fun, but right now, yeah, you'll have to join the queue, but then I see what you've done there, sneaky fucker. Catalyst, how you doing? Are you doing this full time now, Flick? Oh, if only. No, I am, in fact, doing 2 jobs. This is my 3rd job, Twitch, but it's a fun one. I work full time still for the man. I work for myself in evenings and weekends, and I do Twitch as and when I can find the time. Creative is not big enough currently for us to do this full time on its own. If any of those who are far superior than me in skill, Naomi Malik, thank you for the follow, welcome. Those painters that are far superior to me in skill, those that could paint full time doing commission work, might be able to do this additionally. So you commission paint with Twitch on top and the various revenue streams that brings. But no, sub numbers to be full time, even at a minimum, you'd need 500 plus, and I don't think that's viable for anyone, even the highest level of Twitch creative miniature painters specifically. I'm sure there's traditional artists or music guys in creative that are full time, but solely based on Twitch. And I'm certainly not heading that way. I mean, I love and appreciate doing this, and the guys that hang out here, it's great fun. There's a lot of people who watch and enjoy, and I'm very humbled by that. But this doesn't bring in enough. It doesn't bring out in enough bread, unfortunately, full time. But it's fun, and we'll carry on doing it. And I'll keep doing it until I can. I have to stop. So, and there, thank you, Healthio. Again, Healthio is a streamer. Just returned back himself as well. Give him a follow, please, guys. Right, we need to move on. Otherwise, we'll be here for forever and ever and ever. Right, we're looking at General Alpha Numerics Death Guard. Is a Plague Marine currently being worked on. Comments are welcome. All right. So this one is specifically saying, can I have some feedback and comments? This is a work in progress. This is interesting, actually. Giving work in progress on a Death Guard Plague Marine, which I'm about to paint myself at some point in the near future. Very interesting. It's just you're the guy who paints cat minis on Twitch. Yeah, I'm sure I am. Thanks, Grenstalf. I appreciate that. Okay, I would bring up... Okay, let's talk about on this miniature specifically then. General, if it was me, if this is where I was at and I wanted to continue on this, I am seeing a lot of places where I'd want to bring up highlights. Now, I don't know how bright you want to make your Death Guard by their very nature. They are dirty and pustulous and boiled and decayed and all those wonderful things. So you don't have to bring them bright. You can leave them darker if you wish. I personally, in the style, if I was doing it, I would bring up, for example, let's just talk about this. So this kind of chest piece here, this edge trimming, I would hit this, make this brighter. All the wrist guard and the forearm guard, all this kind of stuff. I would definitely go through here and highlight these with a slightly higher shade of green. Jaka Guatama. The names have been fantastic. Welcome to the stream. I'm sorry if I butchered all of the streams. All of your names, by the way. I apologize. Holy hell, I didn't even know that was a thing. Streamer time. And that's completely wrong anyway. It is not 6:30. Oh, wait. It's an hour behind.
Wait a second.
It's an hour behind. So it says 6:30 p.m. GMT. Now it's actually 7:30 p.m. GMT. So I think it's BST. Are we on BST now? I can't remember. But yeah, General. Exactly. That's what Ranger said. GMT versus British Standard Time. So yeah, potentially. Yeah, so I would bring up the edges on this bit here, dude. I would also do the same thing. Basically, on all this corners, I would edge highlight this more. I would bring up the metals that you've got here, this kind of darker bronzes, potentially these rusted bronzes. I would still have them scratched up a bit more or something. And then on all of the bone work, I would bring up the tips slightly brighter, if you want to go inverted and make them darker, then I would do a bit more down through, layering up, maybe some Agrax earth here is kind of a go-to. You do like 2/3, then you would do half, then you would do a third, and then you would do the last little bit, something like that, that kind of style. Up to you though. Hopefully that gives you an idea. It's up to you. Everyone's different. Sometimes if you want them darker, then keep them darker, all that kind of jazz. I totally forgot to say what it was I posted. Those are my recent tanks, a Spartan and a Ventador, and my Primus Medicae for my Sons of Horus. All right, Mammoth. Well, Mr. Monk, when we get there, you're next anyway, so good call. All right. A Spartan and a Venator, and my Primus Medicae for my Sons of Horus. All right, cool. Wow, there's so many whips tonight, guys. Thank you so much for getting involved. We're going to get through this for quite some time, so I will do my best to get through and get back to the painting. Really appreciate everyone getting involved. Really is cool. I will try and blast through these though. And I've just missed a follow. I apologise to you, sir or madam. Ren's Paul 30. I'll go with a chat there. Thank you very much for the follow there, fella. Appreciate that. Welcome to the stream. We are going through some work in progress, man. We are going through what people's weekend hobbying has involved. Wow. This dude looks badass. Let's bring out the zoom. There we go. This miniature looks awesome. A Spartan and a Venator and my Primus Medicae for my Sons of Horus. So this dude, Sanjan, in the grim dark future, would you ever want to actually get hurt or ill? Because I'm telling you what, man, the apothecaries and the future medical assistant, the nurses, they don't look friendly, do they? I mean,
they really don't. If that's what they do themselves.
Yeah,
I don't know. The face mask thing. I mean, I guess it's good because look at all that armor. If that guy ever farts, he's going to be caught in his own air supply, and it's like the worst thing ever. So maybe that's just like a filtration system.
Maybe that's what it is. It's just it's bitterness through contained farts in armor that just drives them to this point where they just don't care anymore. The grim dark future is full of just proper contained fart air. Maybe that's what it is.
That's what my future holds. I can tell. I had Mexican food last night.
I had a curry. Oh god, I'm very, very similar. No, thanks. Nice to get different views. No worries, man. It's cool. Hey, Hannah, how you doing? Welcome. Once your seed. Wait, what? What have I missed? I don't even want to go. I don't even want to know what's going on. That's just creepy.
Probably not something you want to pursue, yeah.
I love this show.
Rabbi Busters, amazing name as well. Thank you so much. Welcome, guys. A lot of follows tonight. Really appreciate you guys checking out the stream for the first time. But let's zoom in this. This is amazing. Look at this force. Let's try and zoom in and give you a bit of justification here. I've just realised the music's changed. It's gone forth. We're going to need to go back to the work in progress gallery music. We've done more than 10 minutes. Oh god. That's a warning that we're doing a very big whip gallery today. These are amazing. There's a lot of work in this picture right here, guys. So hope you can appreciate this. This is from Mr. Month himself. Awesome work. Loving the heat stuff here on the barrel. Sons of Horror's looking badass, man. Look at the OSL on the lights on the tanks as well. Very cool stuff. Top stuff, man. I remember seeing some of this stuff before, slowly but surely. I remember you showed in a previous stream our chap at the back here, and look at the Land Raider, man. Badass. Very, very, very cool, and you should be very happy with them. I hope you are happy with them, because they certainly look great. Oh, I see. Because it's Crave Seed, I get you. Didn't you say you won something, actually? Let me scroll back up. I swear, before the sub, he said something about winning... Am I wrong? Am I getting confused here? I'm super happy with them. Good. Oh, there you go. This, and that is my army I just won a tournament with on Saturday. Oh, okay, so you won a tournament by playing with them, not for painting them. Okay. Well, should be impressed, man. Very, very cool. Very, very cool indeed. Right, let's move on anyway. Time is short, so... Drene77, streamer here on Twitch. Check out some of his Necrons. Wow, man. That's some stark silver and reds there. Oh, look, Necrons that are silver, Santon. Have you ever seen silver Necrons before?
What? Breaking new ground.
Kappa face. Very cool, man. Very high level of shine on these chaps, though. These are very chromy almost. They're very, very shiny, aren't they? Whole bunch of shine. Let's move on, because I see something that appeals to me more, I feel. Look at this, Sanjin. This is one of them there Gundam things, right? It's the whole mech Jap thing.
Yeah. Ooh. Looks like it to me. Yeah, that's definitely Gundam.
Very cool, man. Who else paints Gundam on stream? Let's go through that. So Gundam's another little niche. We used to be together in #figurines as one collective family. We all got separated in our separate ways. I know that the Lily does Gundam. I know that Raina has an interest or has done it before. I got an argument that you've done it as well, Sandon. Is that true?
I've done it as well a little bit. I also know that Cousin Nice Guy has done it.
Yes,
he hasn't
course.
done it lately, but he used to do a lot of the Gundam.
Yes,
the Gundam.
Cousin Nice Guy. What a gent as well. Yes. I build, don't paint, says Raina. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, Cousin Nice Guy as well. Now that's freaking cool. Look at that. So this is a Gundam that's slowly but surely put into a molten core. Is slowly but surely clearly being super heated up. Now that's freaking cool. Ah, the buttress.
Awesome.
No. That's very different. That's very cool. That's very interesting. I've not seen it before. It's it's a very new concept. That's very, very clever. So Drene. Oh my god, why can't I remember? Who's the other
Drene, is that crackle medium that you used to get that effect?
Hey,
I'm just curious.
How you doing? Who's the chap that did the lava nids? Is it not Drene, is it? Or is it Drene? Am I going crazy? There was another chap. Am I a bad human? There's so many streamers on, I apologise. I used to cut them all the time. Who does the lava nids? That's going to annoy me. German chap. I cannot believe I've forgotten. I'm a bad human being. Aris. Thank you, Drene. Aris Gaming. I knew it. Damn it. No, RS Gaming is a German chap who does streams. He literally does his Tyranids with lava under the skin. So under the carapace is that kind of is all the lava. It's very, very cool. Thank you. Rainer, turning this junk into a real Joel Schumacher prop piece. Yeah, and so I've seen this. So this is Rainer's work, guys. If you want to check out his stream, this is the level of quality you can expect to. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Rainer is trying to save this rhino from eBay. So he took off and stripped the first level of black paint and then was surprised by a second level of yellow paint. Go figure.
That's nightmare fuel.
That's nightmare fuel right there, isn't it? This is true, Hannah. I do have a lot on right now, so I do try my best, though. Cool. Let's look at what he's made them into now, or where they're at so far. So he's turning this, so this is like a true before and after. Oh look, it's gone green. So, if you were a betting man, Sanjin, what do you reckon the chances are, in a rating of 0 to Rainer, how high are the chances of purple being on with this green? Now, given Rainer's traditional style and previous history, I'm going to set the line at a good strong 7. How many Rainers?
18 Rainers. I give that 18 Rainers in chances.
18 Rainers. I mean, I'd say it's pretty high. Yeah, I'd set the line, if we're going from 0 to 10 on a betting line, I'd set the line of purple appearing on this miniature at least 7.
And to be fair, if you look at the shadows, it sort of gives us a purple hue already.
Man,
so he's tricking the eye with subliminal purple.
Yeah. He's probably so salty right now. Let's move on. Ragaroa. So Ragaroa is ending. Current whip, Zombicide, Black Plaid. Oh my god, I can't even say that. Abomin. Oh, I said they've got Minotaur and they put a bommy in front of it, and it's enough to ruin the English language for me. Abomin Minotaur? I don't know. Just need to add swords, bloods, and finish up the face and horns. Let's have a look. Now this looks hella fun to paint. This is way off my normal, and that looks great. Sanjin, that Vindicator is getting a purple-green hazard stripe. God damn it. Safe bet is a safe bet, it seems. Ragaroa, thank you, man. This is awesome. I love it. Just in terms of the miniature, let alone the paint job, but just the miniature mold, the sculpt itself looks very cool. I've not seen it before, so very cool. Adding swords, blood, and then the face and horns. So yeah, I can see the horns are in progress, but the skin's cool, man. Loving it. Again, that's the one great thing with these kind of miniatures. It's literally a blank canvas where nothing is wrong. You can do that. You could do that in various colors because it's fantasy. You could make that purple and green like Rainer likes to put all the things. It would still be fine. Abominator. A bomb in Itor. Abominator. Oh my god. It's an Abominator. It's an abomination with Minotaur. Abominator. Alright, whatever. It's just... all that is now is a Twitch clip. So let's move on, shall we? Flickster fails miserably. So, Witch King, Hellblasters, and Captain primed grey. I'm going to skip the primed grey just because we're in a situation now. The Traitorous Termite awaiting transfers. I'm going to go straight to that. That looks more fun. Doobie-doobie-doo. Oh, look at that banner as well. We're going to skip to the banner. So this is Witch King. So they are my Primaris Red Scorpions whip for a game this Sunday at Warhammer World. Got a night to go along for a 1,500 point army. Awesome. So what do we got here?
Man, why do some people hate your gallery music so much? It's so good.
Because they've been listening to it for nearly 20 minutes. It's enough to drive most crazy. These are cool, man. I love the fact it's grey, but you can still see highlighting. You've still got some edge highlights in here. You've still picked up all the panels. Again, that fun yellow colour that everyone loves. I want to skip to this banner as well. This banner looks cool.
Yeah, that Iron Fist yellow is really good.
Shut up. Oh, dear. You make one mistake and you're chastised for the rest of your life.
Miss Goozy.
Miss Goozy. Miss Goozy. Julian Art. Mr. Dongles is in, boys and girls. That's cool, man. I love that. Why is that not letting me zoom in? I'm just clicking things. Right, one that fire through. Maybe it's just having a moment. Let's go back. No, it's having a moment. Won't let me zoom in. Is it Iron Fist yellow, like ultramarine red? Way, all the comedies coming out. Treverian is clearly impressed by me and you, Sanjin, speaking of our fluent Italian.
So good.
Finished Intercessor Squad awaiting being based as well.
I love this show.
YouTuber Guy TV2. That's got to be one of the most generically awesome, like, YouTuber Guy TV2. You needed gaming, studio, painting 3 on the end of that. That's what you
I
needed.
love this show.
I want to meet YouTuber Guy TV1 and tell that guy to give up his name.
Yeah, maybe. Not nap time. Not nap time. Thank you so much for joining the stream. Hopefully it's not. We are going through a whip gallery. Although currently we're just looking at white because Imiga's having a moment. We will have to miss this last image, unfortunately. All right. Well, still very, very cool, man. Sorry to skip through so quickly. That was Witch King's work. He is obviously his Tartarus Termes waiting transfers, and we saw the Ancient with the banner there. I tried to show the Intercessor Squad awaiting basing, but it wouldn't work for whatever reason. So I apologize, Witch King, but they do look very cool. And good luck in your tournament, man. Let us know how it goes. Healthier with more. All these multiple images. I have to be firing through really quick, guys. Thank you so much. What a massive whip gallery session today. So I really appreciate that. Oh, look. Look. It's the Ultramarine green. Right? Lucky Sevens
The
Primaris.
fabled Ultramarines green.
That's it. The Lucky Sevens Primaris Marine for a store painting competition could have worked a bit more on the white, but time was tight. That's cool, man. So did you have to come up with, like, oh god, am I going to get in trouble? Sanjin, help me out here. Am I going to get in trouble with the Lore Masters? Is Lucky Sevens a real thing, or did he make it up?
No, I think that's a real thing.
That's a
You gotta
real
watch
thing.
out for biker gangs.
So the Lucky Sevens Primaris, if they're real, that's not like the most degenerate loyalists ever. I think I might have fallen in love. Like, can we just gamble? I don't care about the grim dark future. Can we just not fight and just go hit the bar, have a couple of drinks, play some poker? Is that a thing we can do in the grim dark future? Does poker exist in the grim dark?
It's hard because you can't take off the face mask to talk, or you're also just gonna get the fart wind in your face. It's a real back and forth there.
Captain Healthio is my own chapter. We figured it was, but cool. It's a sig. Primaris dice are bigger than normal Marine dice, though. Ah, this is true. The Primaris advantage. I have background for them, too. Oh, Shadow Claimer would be ever so proud of you bringing out the lore background for them, bringing them in one of the missing chapters. Maybe that's why they were missing. They were on a trip to Vegas, and then that's where the chapter disappeared. They're one of the 2 missing chapters there is. So good. Very cool. Can I create a successor based on my dice rolls? I'll call them the piles of 1. Oh, the salt. Oh, you can taste the sodium from here. Right, Hannah is offering us the last today. 2 heavy OSL FML. Well, I mean, I won't argue that on the actual barrel it looks strong, but you can knock that back. The wonders of OSL, you could come back through with some washes, dirtied art, reduce the amount there, go back over it if you wanted to. Put some more white on over the actual main core here to make this feel brighter. You know, obviously the more intense the light, the brighter it's going to be, the most close to pure white you can get for this end of it. You clearly know that because that's what you've applied here. So I'm not teaching you things you already know. But yeah, maybe that you could glaze in the transition here to bring the transition closer. So just get some lighter silver maybe, or some darker blue maybe. I mean, I don't know. You could definitely fix that. It's not completely off. It's not like, oh god, we're done. Let's strip it and start again. But yeah, I can see you going. Honest feedback. Yeah, probably a bit too strong, but you can get it. I believe. Oh, they're trying to fix once I can look at it without crying. You know, the feels are real. I can understand that bit. At least the miniatures in one piece, because I've seen miniatures get launched. I've seen sculpts get thrown against walls. Many tables have been flipped for lesser thing. So good on you for not flipping tables. Right, that is the end currently, and we'll call it there, of the incredibly long whip gallery session. Thank you so much to all of you for submitting. It's always been a pleasure to go through them all. Hopefully, if you've asked for feedback and got it, hopefully it was useful. If you didn't get feedback and wanted it, next time you submit something to the Work in Progress gallery, make sure you give context. If you're saying, this is done, look at me, then sweet, we're happy to see that as well. So whips aren't technically whips, it's just what you've been working on, what you've been hobbying. So if it's done, you want to show off, then do so. If you want an actual feedback, then make sure you do say, you know, comments and criticisms, or I need some help with this specific part. Any kind of context you can give will help us, because obviously we're kind of shooting in the dark. Everyone's at a different stage in hobby, different path, different spot in learning. So, you know, whatever you want to call it. So someone's best might be someone's average, and vice versa. And we don't want to judge on where you are at. We want to see where you've been and where you're going, and try and offer advice to best get there, because everyone's different, you know. There's always something positive you can give. There's always a next step for any level. You know, I would offer a next step to Varian. You know, I'd be wrong. He's a million miles ahead of me, but I could say maybe, you know, if it was me, I'd do it this way. So there's always something you can say, but it might not always be right, and it is always an opinion. So take it lightheartedly and do with it as you wish. Don't take it personally. So my other base is rad, though. Well, there you go. There's that self-confidence, Hannah. I love it. Good. So yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate that. Let's get that gone. There we are. So we haven't got long left at all, in fact. It is 5 to 8. My normal stopping time on a Monday is 8 o'clock. There is food to be had, daughters to be seen, wives to help, I guess, with stuff. So it won't take too much longer. What we'll do then, rather than going through and putting more material in the brush, what I'll do, if Sanjin doesn't mind, we'll go through a quick tear down here. I'll do the cleanup anyway. I'll do a proper cleanup, but we are going to just... We've had water resting in the airbrush, so we'll go through kind of what to do now. Take it apart, do a bit of a clean, and then I'll do a proper clean off stream. And we'll hand over to someone else. But do stick around, please, please, please stick around for the host. It's always fun to have a decent sized host, and we'll go and host someone to continue the hobby on. Okay, so Sanjin, with that said, we're going to do a clean. I've had the water sat in this cup now, but now we know we're going to clean and not going to put some more material through. I'm going to push this through like I would normally do. And after this, how would you approach? Would you go through with airbrush thinner whilst it's still on the airline and push the airbrush thinner through? Would you just go through at this point, just take it apart, tear it down, and start to attack it with a brush, toothbrush?
If you're putting it up for the night, if this is the end for you and you're putting it up, I would take it apart. So it's good to run that through there. It doesn't take very long, just helps in the process, and then disassemble.
So you wouldn't put thinner through it now and fire that through as well to get. You would just.
If it's up for the night, you're about to do your heavy duty cleaning anyway, so there's no point in running the thinner through it because you're about to go through, and when you disassemble everything, it'll be easier to clean anyway. So
okay. So I've been.
Oh, also, Coco wanted to tell me that she says hello, Flick.
She says what? Sorry.
Coco wanted me to say on stream to say hello to you.
Oh, that's very nice. Hello, Coco. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Hello, dear. How are you? Okay.
Attention. Okay. Anyway, so this is.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything, but you did it, so you're allowed to. You can get away with that.
Yeah. You unscrew the back that's holding.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a teardown before. Like I'll let you guide through and talk. I've done it through several times, but for those watching, this might be useful. So yeah, okay. So in this case, this is an iWater Eclipse HPCS. We're gonna go through a teardown. How you go standard after every paint kind of teardown. So taking the back off, we're gonna. Well, you talk and I'll just do it. Put that way.
Yeah. So we're just gonna unscrew the back there, and unscrew the needle. So as well. So take that part out, and then we're gonna unscrew the needle. So there's a little nut back there as well. Yep.
You have to deal with stream delay. Good luck. So yeah.
I keep forgetting about that. I'm like, all right, give him a few seconds.
So yeah, okay, so we've got the needle out. That's where we're at currently.
And yeah, needle straight through. And this is where you can see, kind of see what's been stuck to the needle at this point. See, that's what you don't ever see is right there in the back a lot of the time. Because when you pull the trigger back, it moves back behind the cup a little bit. Yeah. So that's a really tricky thing for people. Sometimes they don't understand why. They look down at the needle in the cup like, well, it looks clear. But right behind it, they've got that buildup.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is also a good opportunity to remember, do not touch the tip of your needle. Be careful because you bend that needle and you're going to have a bad time. So be very careful. If you're new with it, don't do what Flick's doing.
Yeah. Well, I was holding it here, so with no intent.
Yeah, no. Just it's one of those things that, and that's like a number one thing for beginners. It's just to be careful with the tip of the needle. Don't use it to clean your cup. That's a bad idea. Don't use it to stab anybody with. Also, pretty bad idea.
Thanks for these crucial tips. I'll make sure I'll put into the footnotes of the actual uploaded VODs and stuff.
Telling for a friend.
So here's an interesting thing. I'll put that down. I've got some weaponry. So I've got this set of wiry thingies. I have got this set of brushy thingies. And I've got this prison shank that we showed on episode 1 that I fear is useful for nothing else than protecting myself should I be incarcerated. Why? What is this? Why do I own this?
Okay, the prison shank is actually for cleaning the nozzle with. Only the nozzle.
Okay.
So if you unscrew the cap at the front of the airbrush...
Now there's two here, so we're talking about the very first one. Because in this case, and this model, you can take that part off, but you can also take, if he does it with any kind of manpower...
Yeah, take the whole thing off, actually, the whole cap there. Not just the front part. So there's two. You've got that one which can then show you the tip of the needle, but you also need to take off the other cap so that you can remove the nozzle, and then you can use that little prison shank to clean that out.
So the prison shank is to clean... Am I right now? Oh, there is a stream delay here. So hopefully you can see this. We're talking about here. Again, I'm not sure if we're in any kind of focus, but hopefully... I'll bring in a bit more focus. Yeah. Give me a second. So this here, you're using this. Now there's a flat edge to this and a curve then. So are we using it to get to what? What exactly? Where am I poking without killing things? I don't want to break anything. Are we just... For
the most part, what I do that, if I don't really use that tool very much, to be quite honest with you. But you can, like, you can be, if you're cautious enough, you can use it around the nozzle if there's any kind of dry paint. It's also good for actually through the nozzle, if it's small enough. And now you can't always do that, but sometimes, like, if you take the nozzle out of the airbrush... I am
nervous nanny right now. I'm not going to put any pressure on that whatsoever, so I just spun it on top and that'll do it for me.
So mostly that thing is for actually cleaning through the nozzle. So if you take the nozzle out, you push that through the back of the nozzle. No, the other way. So the nozzle needs to come out. So we probably have to unscrew your other cap there.
The whole thing here as well to get to...
Yeah. Because we need to get that nozzle disassembled from the cap.
Okay, give me a second. I need to get the little that comes with this. So, in the meantime, though, Felice409 and Lao Tzu and Dark Rabbit. Thank you guys. I apologise. We were obviously going through a teardown here of finishing up using an iWater Eclipse. And we're just going through the kind of the teardown process for someone new to using an airbrush like myself. I mean, I've done this before, but we're just kind of doing it again for the use of the stream. Okay, so somewhere over here, I have some very cool looking, if you're a car nerd like me, just generally nerd. Look, I got a little spanner. Very cool. Hey, May Jester, how you doing? Welcome. Hi, nice to see you again. The other thing I would say about this as well, I would probably do this clip teardown, not where you've been spraying. Now, I've placing my items on paint. Now, we're doing this for the case of the stream. After the stream, I'll do a proper clear out as well. I won't put this back together. I'll do a teardown, a clean part with Sanjin here, who's joined us. But certainly, I would do this in a, not I say sterile. That's too far. But you know what I mean. A cleaner surface, a cleaner area where you're not going to place my clean thing back onto paint you just sprayed. So, right, cool. Okay, so this part's off now, and I can clearly see some residue. Hopefully you guys can see that inside there as well as inside this part. So this is what we're saying that the prison shank is for at this point. Yes. Scraping around the outside. And I can't do any damage here, can I? Or can I? I'll be the one that asks the questions.
You can. You just have to be ginger with it. And as well inside the nozzle, you just got to be careful with it. You don't want to go stabbies too hard.
So interesting. I didn't even realize. I expect that it actually comes out as well. Look at that.
Like that comes out completely. You can take that out.
I didn't even know that. I've never done that. Well, did I know that? I tell you what, I probably did know that, and Grenler is now currently mad if he's watching the stream, lurking. He's like, I told you this, Flick, unbelievable. I was there. You never listen. Well, maybe that's just my father, and I'm getting flashbacks. Anyway, either way.
What a good tip here also is if you're afraid of the prison shank by itself, keep paper towels handy, wrap that thing in a wet paper towel, and you can, then you can rub around the edges a little bit and kind of get some of the accumulated paint out of there without worrying too much. But
yeah,
as you can see, like you pulled some paint out of that already with just that little tool.
Yes, I have, correct. I'm tending to, there's a flat surface, and I'm using the flat surface like a scraper, like you would doing a mold line tool almost. So I hope
yes,
shows
which is
it's
a perfectly fine way to use that. Confirmed on stream, Flip uses tools. I called you Flip, I think.
Did you?
I don't know. Anyway.
Towel or terry cloth is a good idea in case you drop anything. Yeah, true. Keep clean paper towels handy, preferably a fairly lint-free brand. So I've got kitchen towel, what we in the UK call kitchen towel. Paper towel, same thing. Kitchen towels as opposed to toilet paper. Obviously, toilet paper tears down into much more fibrous. The kitchen towel we've got here, specifically anyway that I use on the stream and always have done, is I won't say higher quality. That sounds really pretentious, but I just mean like it's tough, it's thick, it doesn't tear, it doesn't cause fiber and that kind of thing. So yeah, I have got that to the side, but I'm currently just doing this on stream as best I can to show you guys what's improved. So this is obviously a quite a slow process. I'm being very, not so meticulous, but I'm doing this in a way that stream can see. Once you're normally done, you're not streaming, you can just kind of tear through this. There's nothing I need to worry about O-ring wise inside there, or is there? Because currently I'm not going much deeper than a few millimeters, just to what I can visually see, for fear of damaging potentially something that holds the needle in there. But I'm guessing
there should be no rubber parts in that.
Right,
in
so
the nozzle itself,
I could go shank deep.
You could just go go ham in there.
Okay, cool.
And then again, this doesn't have to be thorough, because what you'll want to do in this case is basically, like, you have that cup on the side. You have a cup on the side. Fill it with the airbrush cleaner of whatever sort you're using, and let that thing soak in there. It'll get all of the dry paint particles out, and then you can use the tool to just kind of clean it out afterwards.
Okay. So again, we're talking about something similar to what you're talking about with the entire airbrush. You're saying, in a broken down...
But especially for the nozzle. I mean, the nozzle is one of the most important parts to keep clean and free of paint. So I usually soak, that's when I'll soak it either in acetone or just any airbrush cleaner that you have around. Just leave it in a solution of water and airbrush cleaner for a few minutes, and then go back to what you're doing here, just to make sure there's no dried paint left in there.
Well, I won't do that now for the pigs of the time that we've got left, but certainly that's something to bear in mind for next time for a full teardown, or for someone watching now. Something to be like a little cup of acetone, which is, for those who don't know, it's nail polish remover here in the UK. It's the material that's found in a lot of, how do I explain what, I guess makeup removal generally, I would say. And acetone is known for good use of stripping down metal miniatures, but not on plastic, for forewarning. It will melt thou face. And we were talking about it earlier. Don't leave your airbrush in its entirety in acetone. It will destroy the rubber O-rings that are used to hold the needle solidly in place. So that's a bad thing. That's a do not do. So we're just talking about acetone on metal only components, parts where there's no rubber inside them. I have to go back to learning, guys. I have exam tomorrow. Thanks for the fun, Flix and Sandra. No worries, Gilly. Hopefully you enjoyed, and thank you for hanging out and doing the moderation thing. I have no idea what's going on with the bot. I will have to try and sort that after the stream as time allows. But I have got daddy duty. So, right, cool. So yeah, okay. So same thing again. We're just going through it part by part and cleaning them up. You don't have to watch me clean every part, but that's what we're going to do. We tear it down to its basic components, go through each one, clean up all of the material as we can. And yeah, I guess that. If anything else, obviously now when I've previously done this, Sandra, just at the last point, I've gone through and I've cleaned this by a ye olde toothbrush, which I've got here. And again, always away from the point, so not to damage it, not to hit the end. Always doing it this way, and using like fingernail, basically. Long story short, any kind of scraper, even the prison shank, I guess, would be useful in this point. But is there anything I should be aware? Is this a bad process? Because I have done this, so this is a genuine question. Like, obviously using thinners, using cleaning assistants to help remove, but otherwise just scraping towards the tip, so not to bend it. Is that okay?
Yeah, as long as you're careful, because those things, those are fiddly. You have to be careful with how much pressure you're putting on it. And if you have the time, it's better to just lay the needle flat in like a Tupperware or something in water and let or the solution, and let that kind of lift the paint off, and then clean it off later. But as long as you're careful and you make sure to stay away from the tip, you can scrub it with a toothbrush with your little wire brush cleaners you got back there is fine, as long as you're careful.
Okay, cool. All right, guys, we are going to leave it there. I do need to get off and host someone else and do the daddy duties, but I want to take a massive thank you to Sanjan for taking time with us this evening, being the teacher on episode 2 of this Airbrush 101 introduction to airbrushing for myself and for others. We didn't manage to get to a full Zenithal lighting. We did just do the black and the white in the end. I will do that tomorrow morning. So I am doing a morning stream. I'm returning to my morning slot. So that is 6:30 is the aim, but more than likely, knowing me, I do like warm bed. It's going to be 7 o'clock. But 7 a.m. So that is 11 hours from now. So we're 8 o'clock in the evening here. I'm talking about 7 o'clock the following morning. So 11 hours from now, I will be back for a shorter 2-hour stream. We probably won't have a teacher for that one. We'll just crack on. We'll just do some Zenithal and just do some basic Zenithal. So I'll go through, like I said, 45 degrees from above. I'll go through. We won't do any pre-shading or anything like that. We'll need a proper teacher. So we'll probably save that for officially Airbrush 101 Part 3. Okay. But I want to thank all of you for watching. All the follows tonight. We had a bunch of follows. A really positive night tonight. Thank you so much for you guys finding the stream. I hope you found it enjoyable. I hope you found it useful. Again, thank you, Sanjay. If you want to plug your stream when you're next streaming and all that kind of jazz, do so now whilst I find someone for us to host.
Oh, yeah, sure. You can catch me back at Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time on twitch.tv/Sanjin. It'll be a Monday or a Wednesday through Sunday I stream.
Wednesday through Sunday. Oh, is that every day, Wednesday through Sunday? I didn't actually know that.
Yes, sir.
Even I didn't know it. I thought you were 3 nights or 4 nights, but I think it's so hard for
Ouch.
me. Just because we're so far away time zone wise. I'm normally in Nodland, all the sleeps. I know where we're going to go tonight anyway, so I kind of know where I'm going. I just want to grab the thing. So right now, guys, say thank you for the follows. The subs tonight as well. We had a couple of subs. Always appreciated that. It does add up as you guys do sub through. I appreciate that. I had a couple of bits as well. Just a couple. Ah, Dafflo coming in. Dafflo. Well, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it. Wow, that's Dafflo. Thank you for the follow. Well, that could get really confusing. Yeah, so we had Captain Healthio and we had Snickle Bunny coming into the 2 tonight. So thank you guys. Always appreciated. Couple of things going on. So this month, end of this month, I've yet to decide what's going to be the fun thing for the end of the month, but there will be a thing as always for you to save those flickets for. We did get the new branding, the vinyl, the stickers arrived. So we've any of you guys who win something from the stream, commission me, or are already owners of the Flickster miniature, you will be getting a couple of these each, along with a bunch of other things I'm still working on, but they arrived today, so very excited for them. We will be working towards a couple of things, so I now due to like August, so I'll leave that actually, I won't talk about that now. A couple of things coming on, we've got a couple of commissions coming up as well, they'll be in the pipeline. But right now, my good friend Electric Eve is having a sub drive. We managed to get her over 100 subs last week. We are trying to get her to 125. She's currently 18 sub points away from the next emote drive. And as you all know on this stream, we are here for the emotes. We do love our emotes. It is emotes for the emote god. I myself will be doing another drive to try and get to that big one, and I have loads going on. That's a massive drive because we are a long way away from the next emote slot because we've dropped down. I will talk more about that close to the time, but expect big things. It's going to be quite the event. I'm working on a lot of things for that. So it should be fun, but that's not happening for a couple of months. But right now, Electric Eve, if you can spare a few coins, would really appreciate your sub if you can do it. We're going to try and get over there, get her to 125, unlock that 10th emote, more emotes for the emote god. So we're going to go over there now. She's also got an announcement for this coming Sunday, and I'm not going to tell you what it is. You're going to have to go across with the follow, go across with the host, and find out what's going on Sunday. But I promise you, it's going to be a blast. So thank you so much, guys. Appreciate that. I am back again today, tomorrow morning in 11 hours. Failing that, I would normally be here on Wednesday night at the same time as tonight. However, I am away at a barbecue with the daughter, with the NCT, to round off the parent training course thing, and we will turn up all the couples that were there with the that went to those lessons before the child were born and go, look what we made, and it's still alive, look, see, it's still breathing and stuff, and that should be fun. So tomorrow morning 7 a.m. and then again on Thursday 7 a.m. the next 2 streams here. All right. Is it sub Saturday she's doing? No. Saturday, or maybe it is. Saturday's her paint race with Shadow Claimer. There's more stuff going on. You'll see. Go over to Electric Eve. Maybe I'm wrong, but just trust me. Something is happening this weekend for Electric Eve, all right? So we'll go over there, guys. I'm going to host you. Thanks again, and I will see you in the morning. Take it easy.
Thanks for having me.
No worries, man. Thank you so much. It's been a blast. And let's just do a thing. Where are we? What's going on?